Hello and welcome back to the Crypto Talk Now Network channel. As with you always, this is Max. Do another live video today on XRP. So with that said, I hope you're doing great in this great world. We're going to welcome some of you guys that are part of our community, and shout out to Rich of Common Sense Crypto. And we'll get into the reason for that here in a bit. All right. So with that said, let's start off with the first comment of the day. It comes from the one, the only, Tim Shea, who says, hey, welcome back, Mr. Crypto Commissioner, the mayor of crypto, representing his fellow constituents of the 589th XRP Army, baby. Let's go. And look who's second. Oh my goodness. It's Le Grand Commission. Oui, merci beaucoup. Glad to have you here, Mr. Legrand. Commission, longtime friend and supporter, member of CTN Network. Thank you so much for being here. Glad to see you in the comments. All right. On top of that, we got the lovely Brittany. She says, happy Monday. She's got the thumbs up. She's got the stars. She's got the cool looking emojis. And what's that? Pink flower. Thank you very much, Brittany. Boom. There you go. KK's back. He says, buy your favorite crypto now. Once the game starts, it costs more to play. Now, it's funny that you're mentioning that, KK, because what's going to help start the outline today is a segment that is referred to, is it finally altcoin season? And if so, should we go on a shopping spree? We'll get into that in a bit as well. Some of the things that we're also going to talk about today, obviously, is Stellar's XLM. We're also going to talk about, believe it or not, Luna Classic. I know, unbelievable, right? I saw something about Luna Classic that was very interesting, and I wanted to share with you guys. I know we haven't done a live show about Luna Classic in a while, but you know what? So what? We're going to talk about some of that. We have a little bit of Q&T, Jasmy. And believe it or not, honorable mention to Clearpool. As you guys know, is the first project I ever covered, and we're going to get into that as well. So glad to have you guys here. Mr. Boomer Effin' Sooners in the house. Boom, right back at you, Mr. Boomer Effin' Sooner, the one and only Mr. Boomer Effin' Sooner. Thank you for being here. Let's see here. Yes, don't you like how we started right on time? Please smash that like if you haven't done so. It's so exciting. Oh my God. I might not get my Eagle Scout badge. All right, let's go further down. And you guys got some interesting comments. Tim Shea says, hey, he wins everything. That is true. He does win everything. Open Mind is back. I haven't seen you in a while, man. It's been a while. Welcome back, Mr. Open Mind. Glad to have you here. KK says, Maximus, the crypto professor. Appreciate you. And Yamaha Pacifica is back. Also, River is back. Glad to have you. Welcome, Mr. River. Who else is up here in this house? All right, so I think that's about it. Not a lot of comments, but it's okay. I'm going to use this as a bookmark. And if anything, please smash that like if you haven't done so already. We're only at 10 likes. Let's try to get the broadcast out to a broader base of people. Let's go ahead and start off with the overall crypto market just real quick, and then we'll get into some things because, maybe some people feel as though we started a little bit too early. Who knows? I don't know. So, yeah, let's jump into this, and I'm going to show you the overall crypto market. All right, so we're hovering right around this 1.21 trillion mark, and, it may not seem like it's too exciting. So I want to point out is Caspa. Now, for all you guys that are Caspa holders, I soon will be as well. And if anything, I am looking forward to tagging it and making it part of the coverage that we have here daily. But look at this, guys. You should be proud. It is trending. It's in the top 3 for trending. Even though it's down a little bit, it's trending. Okay, that's good stuff. All right, so here's what's going on the 1 hour chart for the top 100. Don't know about Sui, but it's up on the 1 hour chart. So it's Flow, ApeCoin, Gala, Zilliqa even. 24 hour chart, Gala up about 15%, Chainlink 10%, 7-day chart, 18%. I want to state this, okay, in regards to Chainlink. All right, I don't think it's a bad project. I'm not personally invested into it. It is one of those ones in which, if I had to make like a top 10, I think I should be personally invested into it. I'm not going to state who told me this information, but I think and he's a very worthy source, to say the least. I just want to state this, all right? Hold on, let me come back, make sure I see you guys. Don't be surprised if you see a FUD campaign from quite a few people from the Chainlink community. I'm not about tribalism. I think it's silly. I think it's childish. But here soon, do not be surprised if you see a FUD campaign from people that are, I guess you see like Chainlink maxis, just Chainlink community people. I think it's wrong. I don't like tribalism. Like I made a post the other day that I feel as though it's kind of like stocks, right? Like, am I going to have the attitude that if I'm a Coke fan, that I wouldn't be invested in Pepsi? You know what I mean? It's like both are great stocks. As you guys know, I'm a gamer. Here's another analogy. Am I going to be naive to say, hey, you know what? I would only invest in NVIDIA stock because it performs well and so on, because I'm a big NVIDIA fan of the graphics cards and so on? No, I'm also going to probably invest in AMD as well. Way back in the day, it was ATI merged with AMD. I think that's naive as well. At the end of the day, it's all about what? It's about, wealth creation. Like, am I going to be naive enough to say, like, I wouldn't be investing in both? No, I'm not like that. But again, do not be surprised if you see here soon a FUD campaign from Chainlink. Not necessarily themselves, but from the community. And it's just messed up. Anyway, I'm going to welcome a few more people. Please smash that like. And if anything, we're going to show a little bit more in regards to what's going on in this top 100 on the 7-day chart. Of course, we know that XRP, Stellar, and all those stand out. So let's get into it in a bit. All right, let me jump back into the comments for a brief moment. I want to welcome a few more people. Brian Dowie's in the house. So what's up, Max? Glad to have you. Mr. Brian Dowie. Boom. Crypto Smooth says, what up, CTN family, bros and sisters? YouTube Max. Thank you. Glad to have you here. Crypto Smooth. And let's see. Casper looking very promising. I agree. I totally agree on that. Andrew Davis is in the house. Nan Fam, welcome back. Or welcome, I should say. Glad to have you here. Let's give him a warm welcome to Nan. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Love you some Coke. All right. Coca-Cola. All right. Let's go further down. Mark Bailey, your deep dives and show is awesome, Max. Thanks, Mark Bailey. Guys, let's welcome Mark Bailey. Consider changing your avatar. Something speaks more about who you are and what you're about. I meant to get out the Jasmy Ocean Protocol and what's this other one real quick? I think it's called PIL, if I'm not mistaken. They're all related as far as like some people consider those other two like real competitors. I would say Ocean Protocol is more of a true comparator to this other one. But nonetheless, instead of doing like a comparison with just Ocean Protocol and Jasmy, I'm going to do a 3-in-1 because it deserves to have that. Hopefully I'll get it out tonight, but it won't be featured on the live. It's just going to be too long to do that. And I have to give this kid a ride home from his job later on, and that would definitely go around that time. I don't want to do that. So as a favor, I want to get into that. All right. But thank you, Mark Bailey. Let's give him a warm welcome. On top of that, we got Wayne Side up in the house. He's like, dude, suits up, man. Sha. All All right, welcome back. Monica McFadden, so glad that you report that you were able to see the Jasmy video, one of the Jasmy videos. And of course, I only had it up for like 15 minutes, and then noticed there's a segment that was way too long. It was just reading comments, and I was like, oh shoot, that wasn't even supposed to be in there. So I apologize. I re-uploaded, but I'm glad you saw it. Oh my gosh, I made it to 9 to catch a few minutes of the show. All right, well, cool. Thank you. It tells me you're on the Eastern time zone. Nothing wrong with that. I want to give a shout out to Crypto John. He's probably not watching tonight, and that's okay. He's doing live shows. I'm sure you guys saw it this morning. He did his first live. I tuned into it too late. But shout out to him, right? He's getting his feet wet in regards to doing the live. So shout out to Crypto John. A lot of you guys follow him. Great content creator. We like that guy. All right. Yeah, everybody flexing. Let's see here. You're looking forward to that? Yeah, I'll just give you guys just a quick little gist, right? I'm not gonna ruin it. For me, it's still Jasmy all the way. Okay. It's because out of the three, it has the best. What is a best? Too much sitting at a desk. I say best. No, it's got the best risk to reward ratio out of the three. That's just the way I look at it. It's kind of like some people will technically say, well, if you're going to pick like XRP, XLM, and QNT or something like that, which one would have the best risk to reward ratio? Well, or return on investment. Some people look at it as XRP. I mean, if XRP is going to go some of these crazy price levels, then at the price that's that would make sense. So I kind of look at it that way with Jasmy, and knowing that on the rankings, they're doing a lot better. And especially they trend a lot more. Keep in mind, like the supply and demand of anything, right? You could have other competitors out there, but are those other competitors, do they have that demand? Is it trending? Kind of like what I talked about in the past. Maybe you haven't seen it. That's an analogy I made. I call it the crypto trifecta. Does it have enough supply and demand? Is it trending? And then on top of that, it's like, does it have real good use case? And if you meet all those criteria, it should be more than fine, especially going into a true bull market. All right, let's welcome Magic Power. I'm sure at some point he's going to say, I'll tell you, hold on, bye, Jasmy. Yeah, you're right. Yes, he is. Hello, guten Tag, Liechtenstein Exchange. Jasmy in the house. Thank you for being here, Mr. In the house. All right. Cody Core, is it really you? You change your avatar from the Bam Bam Bigelow. Well, I'll be darned, man. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. The first original OG of OGs, Cody Core. All right, just going to welcome just a couple more people. We're going to get back to what we have. Mike, glad to have you back, man. Hi, Max from the hospital. Oh, well, you all right? I mean, are you there? Because you're doing some more treatments. Whatever the case be, God bless you, brother. Thank you for tuning in, and always appreciate you, man. So here's a dab to you. I'm glad you guys are welcome. Mike, Squidward, aka Edward Vincent's in the house. Besk is bitter, having an acrid taste. Yeah, especially if you're undisputed heavyweight champion of Mike Tyson, ferocious, eat your children. Anyway, all right, let's get to the bottom, and let's go ahead and what is this? What is this? I have my bag of Jasmy. Was still loading it up. I do believe in that project. That's good. That's real good. It's a long-term hold for me. It's just the real patient people have a common factor when it comes to this. It's not just Jasmy, it's XRP, XLM, some of these other ones. You can always tell who's patient with this, who believe in that generational wealth, who understand utility runs. We've never been in a utility run in the history of crypto yet. That's the key thing, yet. And this is a definite race, but it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And there's a lot of people who are going to quit this race. And you've seen it already happen. All right. When does BlackRock get approved for the ETF? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that once we get news about it, we'll find out. But, beats me on that. I mean, they were only disapproved of one. I think it was back in 2014. Many, many different applications. Michael Montclair's in the house. Everybody's saying hello to each other. All right, let's kick it back to what we have. And if anything, there's one thing I'm going to point out before we kick it into the outline. I gotta like not exercise before I come on the show, because I'm out of breath. All right, so I want to show you guys this, and it is Rocket Exchange. I don't know if you guys remember being, me talking about Rocket. Hold on, not Rocket Exchange. Rocket X. That's right. Let me show you guys this for a second. You guys see this? Yeah, you can see it. Okay. So this is the one that we covered a little while back. I don't know, like a few months ago. But it's been killing it for this month. For the month, it's up over 240%. My God. And we were covering it right around 6 cents, 5 to 6 cents. So, I mean, if anybody listened to what I had to share on this a while back and you got into this, you are more than a happy camper right now. Okay. So I just thought I'd point that out. It's just killing it. 240% for the month. All right. Let's jump back to what we have. Okay. And let's start things off with the bull run thesis update. Some of you guys feel like it's a RIP to the bear market, excuse me, especially when it comes to the big Ripple news, right? Stellar and all that. And by the way, shout out to Triple C, Cool Cat Crypto. Welcome. Glad to have you here. So let's talk about this for a brief moment. This comes from two authors, Luke Lango, Charlie Shrem. As you guys know, Charlie Shrem been investing in BTC since the days of $5, right? He already made his millions. He's part of the Bitcoin Foundation. Gets an honorable mention. Here's an update that happened over the weekend. As you guys know, we just do shows Monday through Friday, not on the weekend anymore. But is this a true statement? Is altcoin season finally here? Sorry if it seems like I got something in my eye. I do. The crypto markets pushed mostly higher this past week, led by notable strength in altcoins. To give you guys a heads up about this, it says that while BTC was basically flat last week, around 80% of the top 100 cryptos actually rallied this past week. Now, before we get more into some of the great things that is part of this finding and so on, we've been paying attention to Bitcoin dominance, as in BTC dominance. Are we finally going to get to the part where we get, basically speaking, a shift where it's going to be more focused on the altcoins? Now, a lot of us, of course, are rooting for this. On the day, and I'll just double check it, I believe when it comes to Ethereum, that earlier dropped below 2,000. Yes, it did. All right. On the 1 hour chart, something's going on with that. You can look more into it and so on. Looks like we see a green candle going on, significant one and so on. We'll see what happens with that. But that's what's significant. BTC at 30K, Ethereum, of course, dropped below the crucial 2,000 support level, and that's okay. So I'm going to get back into this. All right. Basically, of the top 100 cryptos, that's what happened. Polygon, aka Matic, popped 20%. Solana rose 24%. Stellar rose, of course, 35% on the coattails of what happened with the whole Ripple thing. Like it mentions, Ripple powered past 50% or higher. It actually was way higher than that. Right? We saw, for instance, Ripple briefly, as an XRP, briefly hit like 91 cents, something like that. Says the altcoin outperformance was driven by a favorable Fed court decision. We know about that. That's why the whole thing, just kind of, it's just great news. Altcoins are surging. Like we mentioned before, even if you're not personally invested into Ripple's XRP, a win for Ripple was truly a win for all crypto. We know that. In short, every crypto boom cycle has two phases. I covered many of the phases. I feel as though we're going to hit, our fourth boom cycle. Then maybe after that, we see, for instance, a true utility run. There's hints of all this coming together, but let's face it, we're not in a true utility run. So back to this about the first phase. We talked about the BTC dominance, whereas in BTC rallies significantly and altcoins lag. We saw that. Then at some point, we entered to the second phase, in which, of course, Investor Place points out as being a altcoin season. Some of you guys I've already seen on crypto Twitter. Seems like you're basically participating in this quote unquote altcoin season. This is when the boom cycle broadens out and altcoins play catch up with Bitcoin. During the first phase, you want to buy, and of course, on BTC, not all of us are able to buy a full BTC, but if anything, maybe we could buy half of one. Maybe we buy a quarter of one, whatever the case be, you know your budget. During the second phase, you want to buy and own altcoins. Well, no kidding. On top of that, I always point out, if we're in an accumulation phase, I want to take advantage of these sale prices, if you will, when it comes to specifically these altcoins. This past week, BTC's dominance dropped below, if you weren't aware of this, 50% for the first time in a while and registered its biggest weekly drop in recent memory. That's worthy of a mention. Such behavior is basically consistent with the start of just that, altcoin season. Here's a representation of what's going on with that. We did lose the dominance. The chart doesn't lie. As Mike Cornwall always says, numbers don't have emotions, and neither does the data, except for two things. It's either up or it's down, or let's face it, maybe there's a third thing, consolidation. As we get further into this, I want to point some things out, and that is this statement right here. This could be noise in a broader trend of increasing BTC dominance. That's pointed out. I even think I saw Menelek, shout out to him. He was talking about how, for instance, from here on, based off of what recently happened with the Ripple win, a lot of positive sentiment should happen unless we get wars, unless we get micro or macroeconomic or black swan events happening. Things should look on the up and up. However, they, as an investor place, believe the fundamental catalyst of the Ripple ruling serves as a, quote, trend-changing moment, which could mark, listen to this, guys, the start of a prolonged altcoin outperformance. Well, when is this? Is it around the corner? Is it at the end of 2023? Some of you guys feel like it's going to be at the end of 2023. Some of you guys also feel as though, no, we're waiting for the Bitcoin halving. Wherever the case be, you got to keep in mind, the focus of right now should be, BTC's dominance did drop 50%. So is it going to be, quote unquote, altcoin season? Well, this right here, right? The SEC filed a lawsuit, of course, against Ripple, which, among other things, principally called the Ripple token a security. It's a big deal for two reasons, and here are the two reasons. Securities are subject to a variety of rules and regulations that cryptos are not currently subject to. Ripple is determined to be security. Most certainly, most all other altcoins will be determined to be securities too. Therefore, the crypto industry has been on edge about the SEC's lawsuit against Ripple for years. We know this. If Ripple is, role of security, the entire crypto industry would need to be overhauled. If not, things can proceed as normal. But this past week, that wasn't ruled that way. It was ruled in which it's not a security. So where do we go from here? Well, it feels like basically there's some key things to mention, and I won't get into everything verbatim. But this statement of, we think that now presents a good time as any to go on an altcoin shopping spree, because based on the data. And the data basically is going to show what you're about to see here. And that is, our altcoin bullishness is further supported by strong adoption metrics. While the number of active crypto addresses stagnated for most of 2022, they have risen sharply in 2023, with particularly big jump on the second quarter of the year from 3.7 million addresses, and look at this, guys, to 5 million addresses. That's very, very significant. I mean, it's not double, but that is very, very significant. Here's a representation that shows you exactly what happened with that. And as we go further down, look at this. Let me just double check my settings because I want to make sure I'm losing anybody. It says, we long said adoption is to cryptos what earnings are to stocks. Very true. At the end of the day, it's all about supply and demand. I don't care what crypto asset it is. You have to have some kind of supply and demand. And that's one thing I definitely will point out for the Jasmy comparison video with Ocean Pro. I think Ocean Protocol, don't get me wrong, I think it's a good project. Absolutely. I'm not flooding Ocean Protocol. The other one, I think it's PIL, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see, it doesn't trend. There's not much volume. Anyway, it's all about supply and demand. So if we're talking about supply and demand and talking about some of these altcoins, well, which altcoins will definitely stand out? I will give you guys a shout out who own Caspa. You see a lot of supply and demand for it right now. And it's trending. If you were tuned in at the beginning of the show, number 3 ranked trending crypto for the altcoins. Not even for altcoins, even up there, as we know, they include BTC. If that's trending, it's trending, right? For all of crypto. That's pretty big. Out of 22,000 cryptos, or 23,000, maybe approaching 24. I don't know. There's some that, who cares, right? But it's trending. It's in the top 3. That's a big, big deal. All right, with adoption trending higher in 2023, that is supportive of higher crypto prices in 2023 too. Even further, crypto valuations look cheap relative to the soaring adoption metrics. I mean, you got to admit, there is some kind of soaring adoption. Now, what's the next big stage? Is it soaring institutional adoption? And you better believe one of the topics of tonight for the outline should be that institutional adoption. This whole outline will show you that. And that's why I do want to give a shout out and honorable mention to the first cryptocurrency project I ever covered, which was Clearpool, long before I joined over here at CTN. And no, I'm not paid by them. It was just one of those I was very impressed with. On a market cap to active address basis, the crypto ecosystem is trading at essentially its lowest valuations since COVID, for instance, which of course was a fantastic time to buy altcoins. Think about it. Back then, so many people were saying, like, oh, the whole stock market's going to go to crap. Crypto's going to go to crap. And that didn't end up happening. All right, look what's going on with this. And this is basically a representation of those crypto ecosystem price / active addresses. And to sum things up, I will read this. Overall, we feel bullish about the setup for cryptos, and particularly bullish about the setup for altcoins. It's kind of a typo, sorry about that. The crypto rally thus far has been very Bitcoin heavy, or BTC heavy. The Ripple ruling this past week could change that. Altcoins that look primed to start stealing the spotlight over the next few months. It says, we will soon embark on an altcoin shopping spree. I think some of you guys are basically taking advantage of this. I've seen it. Believe me, even though I don't comment on everything, I've seen it. I think a lot of you guys have seen it. Some of us are in a better situation than others when it comes to, holding off on our emotions. Some of us are buying on green candles. I'm not doing that. I see some of you guys do it because you stated that. Why not? I'm in this for the long haul. They're not worried about, hey, teach his own. If that's you, you got to do what you got to do. Me, I'm not doing that still, but teach his own. It says, we are in the process of finalizing some new picks. And basically speaking, you guys are all taking advantage of this. But one of the key takeaways basically is this. These metrics look very impressive. And that is basically, if you just tuned in, the big jump in the second quarter of the year from 3.7 million addresses to 5.2 million addresses. You better believe that is worth pointing out. Now, what I want to get into here in a bit is something that doesn't have to do with this. It's going to be in regards to Stellar's XLM. I'm going to stop the screen. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a pretty decent sized audience here. So please smash that like button. We're going to read a few comments, and then I'm going to get into something I thought I would share with our community. So before I do that, I want to give a thanks to Mr. Elon Muff, aka Mike Cornwell, for the $2 super chat. Also want to welcome Cash Cats and April Cornwell, as well as Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Thank you guys for tuning in. And to anybody else who is tuned in for the first time, or just listening to us on the road, where the case be, we always appreciate you guys and your support for CTN. I'm gonna go back to the last comments that I saw. Corey B-Bay's in the house, Crypto Homes 777. Like I said, Cool Cat Crypto from earlier. Michael Montclair, Bob Smith. Yeah, they just spot the typo. Yeah, it was a little bit of a typo. That's okay. All right, so let's see here. Cool Cat Crypto is in the house. All right, let's go further down. Let's see if we got anything especially. We'll give her a holler back to the lovely Zara. Thank you for being here as well, Zara and Michael Montclair. Sweat off like 2 pounds. Oh my God, Cool Cat. It was brutal out here, man. I almost canceled just give you guys a heads up. I almost canceled the show earlier. I had I was out in the sun too long, and it's like 116 degrees out today in Phoenix. And on top of that, I got like a migraine, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna cool off. I was like, I'm gonna actually drink something with caffeine, because I was like, you know what? If some of us, we get caffeine headaches, right? So I was like, let me do a little bit of that, drink plenty of water, combination of both, and then finally it went away. So I was like, all right, well, that's why, if you guys notice, the stream a notification didn't get sent out until way too late. I usually like to put out, the stream for the notification 2 or 3 hours before the show starts. Simply helps. But if anything, you guys still came, so that's good stuff. All right, let's go further down here. Yes, XRP. All right. Brian Dowie says FedNow and U.S. banks allowed to say they're going to use that XRP. Bullish SF. That's a good point. Can you use dark mode if please on sites? My eyes are burning. LOL 2 a.m. here. The main reason, I'll tell you the reason for that. Sorry about that, okay? I get what you're saying. I've gotten one other request for that in the past. I suffer from sleep apnea, believe it or not. And for me, it's like I actually need it to be bright, because it actually helps for me not to like kind of drift off. At the end of the day, what's the point of reading stuff as a researcher and so on if I'm going to drift off? So it's for my own benefit. So I hope you understand in that regard. But anyway. All right, so my steam engine technology. You know what? I want to state this. I would kill to see a real steam locomotive in person. I don't know where I got to go to see that, but that's definitely on my list of like when we get into getting that generational wealth after the utility run in the future. Whatever country it is, or maybe it's here in the United States. I don't know, but it's not my bucket list. It's just something I want to see. I want to see a steam locomotive in person, and just to me there's just something about that. I want to see that. I want to hear that effect. It's one thing to see it in the movies, but I just think that'd be so cool to see that in person. All right, have to start your DCA Jasmy again. I swapped for my last amount of XRP. Oh well, that's all right. It's still significantly cheap, man. It's still very, very undervalued. So all right. Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm reading stuff at night sometimes, right? Because like, I don't know, something will wake me up, whatever, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna read this. Do I really want to read it and fall asleep? How's that gonna benefit you guys if I'm reading like 5% of something? No, it's bright mode all the way. All right, so like I said, this doesn't help. So anyway, all right, gonna read a couple more. Boomer F and Sooner says finally got some XRP the other day, but I think I'm more excited for XLM, just a hunch. You're going to be excited with what I got to share tonight. All right. I'm telling you flat out, stay tuned for the XLM segment. All right. Cool Cat Crypto. People are waking up to the fact BTC miners won't be able to make money anymore after the halving. Well, here's the thing. All right, Cool Cat, unless I'm completely off kilter here. All right. And I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way, but to my understanding, their earnings, of course, because the halving and so on, the earnings are cut in half, but doesn't mean they can't make anything. They just won't make as much, But are you saying basically that with what they're going to earn, it's just not going to, like, why even do it? Or what you're saying is like, no, like really, like there's zero money. And if that's the case, I wasn't aware of that. But anyway, Corey B-Bay, yes, welcome. Glad to have you. Migration to BSV in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that would be amazing. And you know what? That might very well happen. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk, welcome. Glad to have you. BP Ventures Circle, I saw about that earlier. That's some good stuff right there. Cash Cats, welcome. Glad to have you. Welcome again to April Cornwell. Hopefully I didn't skip over anybody. And let's see here. Hey, Booms. Hope everyone had a beautiful day. It was super hot, but you made it. That's good stuff. PL or PI was smart. 65 million follower. Oh, Pi Network. My bad. Their goal is 100 million estimated high value. 300 now 20. Okay. Yeah, it's Phoenix, my friend. It's Phoenix. It's the way the hottest I've ever experienced, 122 degrees, and unfortunately, I was outside. Second hottest I ever experienced was 120, and third was 118. I'm telling you flat out. Basically, it's like this: if it's over 110 in Phoenix, it's just that's when you really feel it. 100 is hot, but it's like it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? Because there's no humidity. But it's 110 or higher. It's literally you feel like you're in a blast furnace or an oven. But I have to admit, those days where it's 120, it's just like, you know what? Screw this. Like, no, screw this, Phoenix. You get angry and stuff. I'm just being honest. Like, you don't want to be around people when they're tired and angry. All right. You just want to go and cool out. All right, Eddie T says, smash that like and sub. Thank you, Eddie T. Appreciate you. Glad to have you back. Cody Core, of course. And what says, Max, you should add Adam to the tag, maybe some more traffic. I have talked about Adam in the past. I mean, I don't want you guys thinking I never talked about it. I even did somewhat of a deep dive on the live show with you guys. I don't know if you were here for it, but many, many months ago. I've known about Adam for a long time, but yeah, I could probably take that and so on. I don't know. Be sincere, man. Welcome from the recorded. You rock, man. You don't think I recognize you? I recognize you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the live. Always puts a smile on my face when I see people from the recorded jump to the live. So give Be Sincere a warm welcome. We'll read two more comments. It says from Cody Core, when they bring it back here this summer, we'll let you know, Max steam engine train. Interesting. All right. You have a feeling, according to Yamaha Pacifica, the XCC is going to be a monster. I felt like that for a long time, my friend. I still feel that way. All right. How about this comment? What's better suited, Fed now, XLM or XRP? I'm not trying to hop on the Cool Cat bandwagon, but I am going to have to go with XLM. I think he's onto something in regards to the smart contract thing. I do believe Sorbonne is basically the key to smart contracts. If we're really truly talking about, like, for instance, who was mentioned earlier, was it Yamaha Pacific? Are you talking about XDC and so on, right? That's a great fork of Ethereum, but like significantly less fee. It's just better overall. Some real good projects too. But with that also said, so many people have stated that XDC is the Ethereum killer, right? What's the guy's name? Bobby Jonas. He always goes in the comments and he's like, XDC is the Ethereum killer. XDC is something. I forgot how he says. He's got the little citrus or lemon in his avatar. True, right? But at the same time, if we're going to mention some of these ones are the, Ethereum killers, I think you definitely have to throw in Stellar into the mix. And Sorbonne helps them get to that point where they get that true label, not just a speculative label of being the Ethereum killer. It's so impressive. So we're going to get into some of this. And if anything, we're getting into it right now. You guys waited long enough. Let's jump into some XLM. But before we get into the true research, you guys know me. I'm not the type of guy to brag, all right, or boast, even though I like hot butter on my breakfast toast. I know that's rap, but hear me out on this, all right? And this is one time I will brag because you know what? We've had a long journey. Shout out to Cody Core. The journey of coming on here with Larry that one Friday, that first Friday ever back in April of 2022, and it was just Cody Core in the comments and one other person, which might have just been like my phone or Larry's phone or something like that. So in reality, we were doing a whole show for one person. You want to talk about a grind? Yes, I remember those days. So with that said, let's just take a time to thank you guys for being part of the community and so on, and helping the growth of this channel and the show and so on. So let's show you guys this, and it's definitely worthy of a mention. And I want to get into this. And first of all, I'm going to start things off with this. And I want to show you guys this, okay? So I put out this tweet. And, I'm trying to up my game a little bit, right? So basically speaking, I learned from the GOAT of research, which in my opinion is Tokenizer. If you're on crypto Twitter, you're not following Tokenizer, I don't know what you're doing, because he is the GOAT of research in my book. Very brilliant young man. Got a lot of life ahead of him, right? But knows his stuff, okay? So anyway, I said to myself, I got to be more than just a content creator who puts out YouTube videos. I got to Why I should have done this a long time ago. Why am I not putting out more threads with actual real solid research and so on? So I thought I'd put this together, and I said, Stellar XLM powered Wisdom Tree Prime app is officially launched on both iOS and Android. The finance app enables users to invest in digital funds and digital assets like BTC, ETH, tokenized gold, and more. People basically can spend their fiat or digital assets to buy things or even pay bills. We did get verification that you can, as we speak, go on the Google Play Store. You can download the app. Now, in the United States, I got reports that if you're in the UK and so on, this is not available to you. Also got reports that people are on Apple. This is not available to you yet, even though it was deployed on that. So by all means, if you want to help us out, try to give us some information. All right, so where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is this, all right? So I did a whole thread about this, okay? And basically speaking, let me see where it's at. Yeah, let me show you guys real quick. I'm going to go scroll further down here. And it's a whole thread, a really good thread. Okay. And let me just show you this real quick because it is part of this list. And a lot of you guys already retweeted it, and I really appreciate you guys doing it. That was really cool. So basically it's this right here. And if anything, this got like 16,000 views. People are bookmarking it for reference. How cool is that? 1,384 likes. 4 quotes, 44 tweets. Look at this tweet analysis. 17 new followers just on that thing, right? But there was a lot that was mentioned here. There really, really was. I mean, basically speaking, I made a whole like thread out of this, right? And, I'm glad that, people, I don't know, saw the thread. That's the bottom line. They saw the thread. They liked what was posted. I don't know why I can't view the whole thing right now. But anyway, that's what happened with this, okay? So picture this right here again, all right? Now watch this. Let's take you to the actual video. And it is rich of common sense crypto. My God. So he starts things off with what you see right here. He says, no one is talking about this. And by all means, watch his whole video, okay? So anyway, if you look closely at the very top, he uses some of our research. So this is pretty cool. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But anyway, listen to Rich. Give him a follow, right? Here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Common Sense Crypto Channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XLM. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great, great world. We're going to talk about XLM. I'm going to show you why I'm so bullish on this cryptocurrency. XLM Stellar Powered Wisdom Tree Prime app has officially launched for both iOS and Android. The finance app enables users to invest in digital funds and digital assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokenized gold, and more. People can even spend their fiat or digital assets to buy things or pay bills. And, I like the idea of that. We need more of that kind of growth where people can go and shop with their crypto. The reason I say that is because about a week ago, I was talking to someone and I'm trying to tell them, you want to come into crypto now. The price is so cheap right now. And the first thing they said to me is, can I go in that store over there and buy something with crypto? And I was like, well, no. And they said, that's because crypto isn't real.
All right. So yeah, I wasn't going to put the whole thing, but in the future, what I definitely plan on doing is like, you see this little area in the lower right-hand corner? I'm going to put the Maximus logo. I'm going to put the CTN network, and then of course our Crypto Talk Now logo right there. That way, boom, exposure. All right. Enough about that, right? Nice little cool mention. What I want to show you guys is some actual new updates in regards to Stellar's XLM. So we're going to jump into this, and I guess you could say it's a Sorbonne update. For you guys who haven't been paying attention to Sorbonne, to be honest, you need to pay attention to Sorbonne. And if anything, I'll help you out in that regard. So I'm going to show you guys something that you may have not been aware of. Let's jump into it. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. We're currently at 45 likes. We could definitely use some more, but I appreciate you guys. So Stellar SCF, as in Stellar Community Fund Recap. Now, some of you guys are like, community funds. Okay, I'll come back later. Nope, this is not one you want to come back later. This is something that flew under the radar, and I'm going to get into why for most people this flew under the radar. There might be a couple people, I'll be honest, that might know about this. But nonetheless, I really truly feel as though this flew under the radar. So we're going to jump into this. And this was posted like late June. So it's not really like super old or anything. All right. So we're going to jump into this. And basically it's, this Stellar Community Fund proposal. Now, there's quite a few that were mentioned, but this one is one you really, really want to pay attention to. It's called Anchain AI Sorbonne Smart Contract Catalog. I will read a little bit of this, not all of it. It states, Sorbonne Smart Contract Catalog is an open source tool designed to simplify this process of developing on Sorbonne. This catalog provides a list of Sorbonne smart contracts for various use cases. Now, as we know, and even shout out to Cool Cat Crypto, he was talking about, or all of us actually, we're all talking, the hot topic of the week is definitely going to be FedNow on the 20th. Everybody's so like super anticipate about it, like, oh my gosh, FedNow, which is going to be the one. Well, maybe it's more than one, or maybe for some people are saying it's Ripple, maybe it's not Ripple because the lack of smart contracts and so on. But as we know, with Stellar, there's definitely smart contract functionality, and Sorbonne really, really stands out for those smart contract functionalities. So is Triple C onto something there? I think he is. I'm not saying that there's nothing that could happen with Ripple, because we've seen so many partnerships, and it makes you think, well, maybe there's something kind of missing here, and I am open to that. But hear me out on this. Developers can leverage the catalog to either directly deploy functional smart contracts, modify existing templates to suit specific needs, or simply gain educational insights. A smart contract catalog with a bunch of templates. Think about, and I always use this example, and it's a good example. How many meme tokens are always deployed on what? As ERC20 contracts. They have that readily available for one reason. It's a really easy to use template, if you will. Hence why you can go and deploy a whole contract on ERC20 in about 27 seconds. By Sorbonne having a catalog where developers can basically, let's put layman's terms. You guys watch Netflix. What's appealing about Netflix? Having a big card catalog right in front of your eyes, in which you simply pick what interests you. Imagine being a dev. This looks cool. I think I will deploy a contract, from this catalog for certain smart contracts. This is what gives Stellar the one-up, if you will, in regards to that. By offering readily available templates, the Sorbonne Smart Contract Catalog empowers devs, just like I mentioned, to accelerate their Web3 application development. Now, I swear to God, there's some juicy stuff here that you weren't aware of. So let me jump into the next page. Look at this. And were you aware that Anchain was awarded $95,000 from the Stellar funding, if you will, the community fund. So the Tenzing catalog is an open source catalog, like it says, of audited smart contracts designed to help companies build Web3 projects faster. Max, get to the juicy stuff. Okay, I'm with you. All right. So what I want to show you guys is this straight from here. And this is Anchain. This is their site. Now, what's cool about this is many things. But basically speaking, again, this is something that is not really mentioned. I haven't seen it. I did look around. I don't think I saw anybody. Maybe I should have took like a whole hour to find it, but I'm not going to waste a whole hour trying to find this. So somebody else posted it, they posted it. That's not the point. The point is this. There's some real significant things that are mentioned here. Next gen Web3 security and compliance. Think about this. Compliance. What type of compliance? Who is involved with this compliance? Fight crypto crimes and monitor your Web3 security threats. Trusted by leaders in the government, enterprise, and Web3. Even Gala Games is mentioned there and so on. Look at this. Like I said, U.S. government, Stellar, Solana, even a Ripple, even Algorand. But here's the key thing. 99.8% of the crypto market is monitored. 100 billion plus daily trading volume secured. Now, why would the likes of Ripple or Stellar want to get involved or partner up with something like this? Probably because they know that, for one, they're going to be moving a tremendous amount of volume, and especially now with this Ripple win. All right. I think somebody posted out like, well, Ripple's moving like a little over, you know, I think it was like $5 to $10 million in volume, in the millions still, right? And currently it's worth, I don't know, a little over 70 cents. Can you imagine when we get into the billions? And can you especially imagine when we get into the trillions? You really, truly believe that the value of Stellar, XLM, or even Ripple's XRP is only going to be worth what it's currently at? For Stellar, around 12 cents. For Ripple's XRP, around 70, 71 cents. Again, add it up. That wouldn't make sense. That would stay at those prices. It's not going to stay at those prices. So they need to be partnered with a platform that's going to have the support for not only securing these digital assets, but being able to move $100+ billion worth of trading volume and have it absolutely secured. There's 200 plus customers in regards to this. Here's what a little bit of like more of what Anchain does. They investigate and gather intelligence on complex smart contracts in Web3, of course, cybersecurity, right? Compliance. We're always talking about the regulatory compliance. Monitor your digital asset transaction with AI for AML, CTF compliance. Again, the next generation, the leaders in smart contract security, holistic Web3 risk management, trusted by frontline investigators, partner use cases, vast, comply with the largest regulatory requirements and safeguard your crypto platform. And here's again the start of some of that juicy stuff. Financial institutions and enterprises, you better believe that if BlackRock and Fidelity and Vanguard and some of these other big players, they need to get involved with this, but they're not going to be involved with something that doesn't have it all secured and doesn't meet that compliance. So yes, financial institutions and enterprises adopt asset solutions with secure top of mind, protect consumers, and make digital asset space safer for everyone. And look at this. Join our growing list of partners. And again, plain as day, partner with the U.S. government. Stellar's mentioned. It doesn't show, for instance, Ripple, but we know that's part of that list as well. That's bullish news, in my opinion. And it did fly under the radar. All right. I'm going to get back to what we have here soon. I'm going to show you guys just a tad bit more in regards to this before we kick back into the comments. And that is what it highlights. It goes out of its way to mention Stellar. Why would it go out of the way to mention Stellar? Well, if you're getting a community fund for over $90,000, well, I would imagine you're going to go out of your way to mention specifically Stellar. Are you not? So this integration paves the way for Stellar's thriving developer community to leverage Anchain AI. AI-powered risk or Web3 risk management and security solutions to enhance their security posture as they drive innovation. As digital assets and cross-border, talking too much today. Cross-border payments continue to rise. The need for fraud prevention solutions has become increasingly apparent. Well, no kidding. Anchain's AI CISO investigation platform provides an additional layer of trust to institutions. Think about what's mentioned here again. Institutions. What content creator is not talking about BlackRock? What viewer or listener is not paying attention to the king of all institutions, BlackRock? Layer trust to institutions developing on Stellar. Developing on Stellar. Does this not get your attention yet? So much press about XRP last week, and rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. I don't want people to think that I'm flooding XRP. God, no. But Stellar XLM definitely needs to get a little bit more press. By utilizing Anchain's AI open blockchain ecosystem intelligence, which is OpenBEI, Stellar developers can prioritize security and customer safety from the earliest phases of building, and then combine that with what Sorbonne is offering with the smart contract catalog. And you better believe that for all the people that are complaining about Stellar, saying that the price doesn't move, the only way it's moving is because they ride the coattails of Ripple, I think that's absolutely being naive. Now, to show you guys something, let's show you guys an actual video that introduces Anchain, for instance, the next generation of cryptocurrency forensics platform with that institutional compliance. Let's play this. Smash that like. Here we go.
Do you know who you're dealing with on the blockchain? Where exactly is your Bitcoin going? You could be doing business with criminals, terrorists, or even sanctioned nations without even knowing it, and be subject to federal investigation. The solution is just one click away. Welcome to the CISO Blockchain Forensics Platform, built to enable industry-grade investigation, even by individuals of all levels of experience. Get unprecedented transparency and insight into any address on the Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchains, ensuring that you know exactly who you're transacting with and steering clear of any criminal entities, sanctioned individuals or organizations, hacker groups, and more. CISO is set up around an intuitive search bar. Simply entering any given wallet address across Bitcoin or Ethereum will bring you to an address summary screen. Here you'll find all relevant information associated with the address. At the top here, you can see the entity category, name, and specific affiliations. In this case, this particular address is a branch of the WannaCry ransomware family of addresses, one of the most famous ransomware episodes in the past few years. On the left here is our proprietary machine learning generated risk score, meant to be a holistic representation of the risks associated with transacting with this particular address. This takes into account affiliations with known bad actors, participation in criminal activities, suspicious transaction patterns, and more. Moving to the right here, you'll find key metrics, including balance, recent transfers, lifetime in and outflow, and the date of the last and first activity. Scrolling down, we keep a running log of all suspicious transaction chains in which an address participates. Simply click to expand, and you can take a more detailed look at potentially problematic activities. Finally, down here, we come to our transaction graph, an interactive graphical representation of all the addresses in and outflows, listed over here on the right. Ordinary blockchain explorers can be cryptic, unintuitive, and cluttered. We designed CISO to elegantly deliver all the information you need and none that you don't, so you can rest easy knowing you're covered on compliance. But what if we want to investigate further? No problem. We can launch an investigation by clicking this here. Here we have a couple of options: transaction graph and auto tracing. For a quick and easy snapshot of this address, let's start with auto tracing. All we have to do is fill in our search parameters, including time, minimum transaction size, and number of hops, and click the Start button down here. With literally a couple clicks, we're able to retrieve years of transaction history for a particular address. CISO will automatically generate a full report on the address's transaction flow, showing us exactly where the money is going. And if we want to take a closer look, we can switch over to the graph mode. Our AI-powered auto trace engine tracks all of a wallet's outgoing money flow. We can just give it a click like so, and the whole trail is highlighted in red. From here, users can easily get in touch with any cryptocurrency exchanges that are involved, add monitoring to any address they want to keep an eye on, or even download the report for personal records or criminal investigation. Securing your crypto transactions has never been easier. Save time, money, and hassle. Start your CISO free trial at ciso.anchainai.com today.
Wow, pretty darn impressive, right? I mean, I think for the most part, most people don't know about that. Some of you guys do because you're the hardcore Stellar XLM followers and so on, and rightfully so. But I wanted to bring that to at least the masses of who watches our show and so on. Pretty awesome stuff. Smash that like for some stellar XLM. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that segment. I'll turn some things back on. Just wanted to clear the HUD for you guys can view that a little bit better and so on. But you know what? It's been a great show so far. We still got quite a bit more to get into. If you're just tuning in, we got some more coverage for you, of course. The next segment is going to be a brief segment, believe it or not, on Luna Classic. On the live show, we haven't talked a lot about Luna Classic for quite some time. But earlier today, I viewed a video, and some of you guys are fans of this guy. Some of you aren't. It's okay. The point is the information. Claybro did a very excellent video. I'm going to highlight some key things from his video in regards to Luna Classic, USTC, and so on. Stay tuned for that, especially if you're a Luna Classic holder. It excited me again because it made me think, you know what? When we talk about Ripple winning the SEC case, how that's a big win for all crypto, this Luna Classic segment will be the perfect example, in my opinion, of just that. All right, we're going to kick it back into the comments. Let me turn on one more banner, and let's get into it. So, I don't think there was any more or anything else I missed, but let me just get into the last bit of comments. And I do want to state this real quick. We just kind of wrapped up the Stellar portion. As you guys were able to see in that little demo from Anchain AI, imagine this. All right, I saw that Larry was in the comments. Well, Larry got some bad information. A lot of us got some bad information at one point. You know, many years ago, almost 10 years ago, right? He got some bad information from a friend or work colleague. Don't invest in BTC is what they basically told him. It's used for drug dealing and all these things. As you guys saw in the demo, imagine if we had something like Anchain AI to basically investigate these bad actors. We didn't have that kind of tech back then, but we now have that. And who brings it to you? Stellar. That's pretty amazing. All right. So let's get into a little more of the comments. And I'm trying to see where I was last at. So I'm just going to really go fast through some of this stuff. See if you guys have any specific comments. Stump Rider is in the house. I do want to say what's up to him again. Again, that makes me so happy that Beast is serious here. Hopefully you're still here. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm going to get further down into this and try to see if you guys have anything specific. Mike's Crypto just stopped in to say hi. Well, thanks, Mike's Crypto. Cody Core says, well, Max, I had watched Larry before, but you brought me back. Well, I understand a lot of people watched him before him and I together. But I'm talking about when I first came in and joined him. Larry does state that it takes two to make a thing go right. I love that song. I do love that song. The first, just some killer. That's some real hip hop right there. Anyway, glad you're listening to some good hip hop, Mr. Larry. All right. Casper is an ETH cure. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, we're throwing out other examples, but that is true. I'm glad you mentioned that. Sorbonne, stellar secret weapon. It's like the Death Star to a sense. Max, you are endorsing evil imperial CBDC bad stuff. No, not that type of bad secret weapon. But yeah, I look at Sorbonne as being like the freaking Death Star, maybe Death Star 2, right? A little bit bigger, than the original Death Star. Cosmos could kill ETH 2. You act like I don't know about Cosmos. I've been covering Cosmos. Oh my God. I've known about Cosmos probably before I even started my first channel of Maximus Crypto. But anyway, I'm glad that you know about it, Cool Cat, and that's good that you're passionate about it. Already poached some ETH projects. Okay. All right, let's see here. I like Larry, according to Cody Core, but Maximus is the glue. You're not the first person that made that analogy about me for some reason. All right. Triple C says, cash possible. They make all move to BSV. Oh, that's a comment you guys had from earlier. Today, I tried to buy on Coinbase, and it wouldn't let me for about 3 hours. Should I worry for future sell opportunities when I need to? I wouldn't worry about it too much. I've had problems in the past in 2021. where I wasn't able to do crap on Coinbase. It's an issue with Coinbase. Happens every so often, and trust me, people do vent about some of those things. So, if anything, you can go back, restart the app, try to see if there's an update. You never know what's going on in that regard. All right. Let me see here. Here's a question from the Clean Slate 642. What time is it now? Well, not too long ago. Have you seen the TED Talks about, quote, how dangerous are IoT devices? Smart coffee maker has your Wi-Fi password and someone hacks it to access. Could Jasmy help keep this info safe? Absolutely. You got to keep in mind, this is one of the many concepts of the Internet of Things when it comes to Jasmy. So people say, well, how so? The personal data lockers apply to not just a person who wants to keep their data away from a Google Chrome tab, or your browsing functions, or what's recorded on your phone and so on, like that we take for granted, I hate to say, or pre-installed apps, right? Like, you guys, I don't know if you heard, got a new cell phone, and on some of the pre-installed apps already enables these things to have access. Yeah, when I start them up for the first time, it says, does Google have permission to use your microphone? For the average person, when they see that, they think, well, oh, that's just because, they want access for, I can actually talk into the microphone and then be able to, ask a question of like, what is the best cheddar cheese to use in my mac and cheese or something like that. That's what the old grandma's thinking about someone. What they don't understand is the stipulations behind that. You are literally giving Google all complete access to everything of what you say in the microphone, in which they, of course, are going to share it with everyone. So, in regards to your question, how dangerous are IoT devices, smart coffee makers? Right. Jasmy will help keep this info safe, because the personal data lockers is not just, the browsing functions of various different ones like Chrome and so on, or going on Amazon or going on Facebook and stuff like that. What it basically means, that's an example. The basic functionality of it, or the many functionalities of it, is truly that, the Internet of Things. We can even apply it to Quant. For instance, Quant with the interoperability and so on, Gilbert Verdin has mentioned in the past, or even recently, it's not just about IoT as an Internet of Things, but it's IoT as an Internet of Trust. And he has used the example of, hey, we recognize the Internet of Things. Like right now, in the other room, way further down, is a Samsung. I have a really nice Samsung washing machine. I ended up getting that washing machine because my girlfriend really wanted that washing machine. So it's like probably the best washing machine you can get on the market. I'll just be honest, right? It's a smart washer. You could fit like 2 full-size comforters in it, and it'll wash just fine, right? And among other things, okay? But that is technically an IoT device. But do I need that IoT device talking to my MetaMask, right? Wallet? Do I need to talk to crypto.com app? Do I need it, to talk to anything else that has to do with crypto or anything? No, I don't. That needs to be its own separate thing. It can talk with my router on certain functions and capability, or certain capabilities of what I want to talk to, but certain things I don't want to talk to. Gilbert Verdin has talked about the Internet of Trust. So can I trust that that's not going to be hooked up to everything? Well, what does that entail? I don't want to make this a long deep dive, but my point is, you better believe when it comes to Jasmy, they have covered some of these things. They have literally mentioned about these personal data lockers and so on, and what it applies to when it comes to IoT, as in the Internet of Things. So that's a great question. We don't want these IoT devices to get hacked and then somehow somebody hijacks, I don't know, some crypto or something, right? So, and then of course, if anything, this fuels more the debate of, not your keys, not your crypto. Make sure you have it on cold storage. Make sure you have a ledger. We get that. Let's see here. My son loves Rich XRP. Yeah, I know. It's great how he says that, huh? Any thought on actual legit projects? LOL. What? Oh, you didn't like what I was sharing it with you? I don't know. All right, so let's go further down. Oh, that's in a reference to him. Okay, my bad. Elon, you think Exodus Wallets is safe to stake in? You know a lot of ish. He does know a lot of ish. I watched that Common Sense video earlier today. Ah, cool. Good stuff. All right, let's go further down in the comments and see what else you guys got so far. See, Cash Cats knows. He can't see why the coffee maker has your Wi-Fi password. IoT devices are already being used by security alarm companies. The tech is solid so far. True, but you'd be surprised with what should talk to what and what gets pulled up on. I'll put it this way, all right? And I have brought this to my neighbor's attention. I said, your internet, I know the name of your network, you know what I mean? Because he's got a really funny name of his network. He goes, yeah. I said, are you aware that I could connect to your living room speaker? He's like, no, I thought I could only connect to it. I go, no, the whole neighborhood can connect to that. Well, I thought I had it set up so it's not broadcasted out. So, long story short, he did have those settings set up that way, but there were some more settings to not have it properly blasted out. You know what it basically took? It took another firmware update. So there are those rare situations in which, believe it or not, yeah, you need to make some updates, or at least heated. And of course, now it doesn't broadcast, but still, do we need everybody connecting to his living room speaker? And some people will do that. He lives on the corner house lot, and almost every other weekend, there's huge parties down the main road. You better believe that some of those people may very well just decide to hop on old living room speaker for some Wi-Fi access. So, to each his own. All right. Exodus wallet, 18% for Atom staking. Not too shabby. All right. Ahmed's in the house. Welcome. Glad to have you, Ahmed. And let's see. Atom staking rewards are going to be so sick in the future. Nice. All right. I am trying to read a lot of you guys' comments. There's just a lot of comments, which is good problems. That's always a good problem. XLM has been right in our face the whole time, hiding in plain sight. Yeah. All right. What's this say? Know what rhymes with Bitcoin? Ishcoin. Yes, that's true. Patches are chilling like a villain. That's good. That's good, man. I think these vids will get a lot of views. They are top secret. Okay. All right. Cash Cat says, y'all noticed that Jeb, one of the founding fathers of XRP, was not personally sued by the SEC while the others were. XLM has been chosen. It could very well be. All right. Boomer F and Sooner says, like I said before, more excited for XLM. Well, nothing wrong with that. That's good. Hyro Alonzo, every time you connect, I think it's my student connected. I know I said that before, but I always think like, wow, he's actually here. He states, I always ask myself, what are we going to do with so many coins? Well, we hold, in my opinion, not financial advice, that's what I'm doing. I'm holding on to some of these for the very, very extremely long term. There's ones I take profits on. And let's face it, like I mentioned before, there's ones in which I basically will be married to, which is not a popular thing that content creators have mentioned. But what content creators are telling you not to be married to your crypto? They're usually the ones that only cover meme tokens. And I would agree, don't be married to your meme tokens. You have more XLM than you do XRP. Think about that for a second. You know what? I have slightly more XLM than XRP. I never thought about that. I think I have like 400 more than my. Yeah, I'm in the club, I guess. Never thought about that. Now, I had to get 10. I was like, you know what? I think I have about 4. Yeah, I have about 400, 300 to 400 more. It's not that big of a deal. Almost the same. All right. You just picked up some more XLM. That's cool, man. Right on. All right. Let's go further down. You traded about 80% for XRP. Well, everybody has to do what they got to do. Corey Bibe, he loves Stellar. They're going to move mountains without a doubt. That's a joke right there, but we all got to have some fun, I guess. They are very well connected. All right. Rashad Williams, welcome back. Hell no, 25K, 2025. Okay. Triple C says our girl Danelle is the only ISO coin head that's been in front of Congress talking about crypto. All right, let's see here. Ghost, welcome back. Yeah, Max, we request Danelle Dixon on the show. Yeah, I got DMs. I don't even know if he's watching. Sometimes he's just listening. His name's Jay, aka Jose. Was trying to say that, you should send Gilbert Verdian a message every day until you get something. Okay. That sounds great. More than likely, that's never going to happen. If these guys make statements, literally like Brad Garlinghouse, there's nothing against them. Our focus is not on retail. Then, come on. Am I really going to get him on the show? Probably not. But teach his own. None of us have crystal balls, but yes, I believe 25,000 XLM will make someone a millionaire in 2025. That's a good statement. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. I'll read one more. Ha ha ha. Used for drug dealing as if the dollar isn't the Exactly. I mean, it's just like, is common sense is like what you just basically said. That would have been a great thing to say. Like, yeah. It's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses here, but it is a good analogy. So, my friend one time, he was giving my other friend crap about his smoking habit, right? And we all know smoking is bad for your health, right? You shouldn't be smoking. But he was just like, his friend was, this other friend of ours was like, yeah, you shouldn't be smoking. And then my friend piped up and he was like, yeah, well, you tell him that he shouldn't be smoking as you're stuffing your face with McDonald's. You shouldn't be eating fast food because it might, too much of that might give you a heart attack one day. I mean, pick your poison. True. Very true. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get back into one more comment. All right. Josh, welcome. Glad to have you, man. Welcome back. All right. Let's get into the outline of what we have. And I do appreciate you guys being here. Very, very cool stuff. Let's see where we're at. All right. So share quite a bit with you guys. And if anything, let's get into the next bit of coverage that we have, which is Luna Classic. So on this one from the one and only Claybro, I mean, I'm not going to play the whole thing. He states, Luna Classic proposal updates and Coinbase speculation. Now, of course, we've seen lots of things about Luna Classic, and I know I haven't covered Luna Classic in a very, very long time. But this one, I felt as though created new excitement, at least for me. And if anything, I know a lot of you guys, there's still a few of you. Some of you guys are out of Luna Classic, but this will create new excitement, in my opinion. So I'll give this guy a shout out. Give him a follow if you choose to do so. Some of you guys like him, some of you don't. I'm going to share this video and let him explain this because he did a good job explaining this. I'm going to play a little bit of it. I'm not going to play the whole 9-minute video. Anyway, let's see here. Please smash that like. Here we go.
Terra Luna Classic is not the only cryptocurrency that has been doing well lately, but there's a lot of speculation that LUNC prices could absolutely soar once the judge decides that Terra Luna Classic is not a security, but it is a cryptocurrency, and it's allowed to be listed on exchanges. That would be a very similar decision that the judge had in the Ripple XRP case, and a lot of people are anticipating that. But that's not the only thing that is going on in the Terra Luna Classic community right now. There are proposals. There's a lot of, speculation surrounding Binance. There's a lot going on. We're going to be talking about it in this video. I found a decent article that goes out there and kind of summarizes everything. But then I do want to jump into some of those proposals as well, just so you guys can get a better understanding of where the community is currently standing on some not crucial proposals that are going to dictate the future of Lunk, but some that would absolutely change things, like gas fees and fees paid by users. So let's discuss it. If it sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. Let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay. I'm here to make 2023 the best year ever. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Join us, become a bro. We are here every single day, and we are growing our portfolios together. Now, look, if you guys are brand new to investing, you don't know how or where to buy stocks and crypto, you got a link in the description below for Webull. Super simple to set up your account. Any deposit, you're getting at least 6 free stocks, up to 12 free stocks, and you're getting 5% on your cash balances. That is much better than any bank is going to give you. If you guys want cryptocurrency exclusive exchanges where you could buy, sell, trade, short, leverage, all that good stuff, you get KuCoin and Binance. KuCoin and Binance, they offer rewards for the more active trader. So the more you trade, the more you're going to earn. But please be aware, if you're holding on those exchanges, it's considered a loan to those exchanges. So if you want to mitigate that risk and make it your asset, you need to look at a cold storage or DeFi wallet. Guys, Terra Luna Classic, it's on the verge, okay? I'm going to say this. If the judge does come out and dismiss the case, or if the judge ends up hearing the case and it takes a couple months or a year down the road, once it is decided that Terra Luna Classic is not a security listed on exchanges, we should see Coinbase relist it. We should see it being relisted across the United States. And if you want a little bit more detail on that, make sure to check out the video from this morning. But I want to jump into this article that summarizes basically everything that's going on from CoinGape out there. And the headline is Lunk News, Terra Luna Classic Community Pool, Quant, Binance USTC talks, and Coinbase listing. So it's going through a lot. It says the Terra Luna Classic community making several efforts to revive Lunk and repeg USTC to $1 through burns, staking, and relying on developers to bring utility back to and gain support from the wider crypto community. Crypto exchange Binance is supporting Terra Luna Classic community by continuing to burn their Lunk spot trading fees. Now, however, the USTC repeg Quant team member Redline Drifter's recent tweet regarding direct communication with Binance is now deleted. Now, I find that a little strange, right? And I don't know what the reasoning is behind that. And also, they say the reason to remove the tweet still remains unclear. And I don't know, man. People are allowed to do whatever they want with their Twitter account. He can remove or add any tweets that he wants. I'm not going to sit here and speculate on why one guy removed the tweet. I don't think that that's necessarily healthy. It says crypto exchange Coinbase immediately announced relisting XRP after Ripple's win against the United States Securities and Exchange Commission on Thursday. Other exchanges followed, and XRP soared 87%. Popular Terra Luna Classic community members and validators claim that the community is serious about the recovery, and Coinbase must list Lunk after the XRP news. Why? Why would they list it on the XRP news? I get it that it's a major decision for the entire cryptocurrency market, but it does not indicate anything for the Terra Luna Classic court case. That judge can still decide whatever they want. He can be in complete contradiction to the judge in the Ripple case. It won't make much sense if he is. It won't be logical. I'm sure there will be a lot of appeals if they go against that case right there. But legal precedence does not guarantee future decisions by other judges. So it is very important to keep that in mind, but this could be a huge catalyst. You are not going to want to miss out on Terra Luna Classic if Coinbase does go ahead and relist it there. Now, I do want to take a minute and look through some of these proposals that we've got out right now. None of them are spend proposals in the sense that they're going to drain the community pool and so on. Now, the community pool has ticked up back a little bit, gaining nearly 200 million Terra Luna Classic. Nearly, it's not there yet. Nearly 200 million Terra Luna Classic since the major spends took place. Bad news is, man, we've got like 1 week left to decide whether or not we repay the Quant team. And that's going to be a $200 million or $200 million. Oh my gosh. 200 million Lunk spend immediately coming up in the next week and a half here if we decide to pay them for the second month. Now, an interesting proposal is proposal 11640. It's a text proposal right now, and it's to raise the gas fees by 2x. Now, I'm not going to go through and read this entire proposal, but to summarize it, we've currently got gas fees that are very low. It takes approximately 8 Terra Luna Classic to send Lunk, and that is 0.00067 US dollars. So it's not even a fraction of a cent. And it takes 67 Terra Luna Classic to withdraw your staking rewards, and that is about half a cent. This proposal is to double the gas fees, which would take it to 0.0001 or 1/10 of a cent on transactions, and it would take it to 1.1 cents on withdrawing staking rewards. Now, the entire idea here is to increase the gas fees so that we can increase the Oracle pool, we can increase the community pool, and we can increase these pools so that Terra Luna Classic can continue to build and continue to thrive. Look, I'm going to say this, and nobody likes paying taxes and nobody likes paying fees, but my goodness, I don't think anybody cares that it takes a half a cent or a tenth of a cent or 1 cent to make a transaction. If you look at people who continue to use Ethereum and they're paying like $50 a transaction, 1 cent, 2 cents, 10 cents, nobody is going to bat an eye when it takes them a couple cents to make a transaction. I don't even care if they are, high frequency traders. If they're not banking a cent on those trades, they're doing something wrong and they need to reassess the situation. So increasing gas fees to a cent is not going to kill anybody. But nonetheless, it is not passing right now. It has 41% yes votes and 57% no votes. I mean, it's kind of split, but it's only 2 days in. Now, the next one, decreasing the undelegation period from 21 days to 14 days. This is going to make staking a little bit more liquid. I mean, clearly a lot can happen in 2 weeks' time. A lot can happen in 3 weeks' time. Terra Luna Classic can run back up to 60,000 points per coin. And of course, back down to 20,000 points per coin in a 2 to 3 week time. But the entire idea behind that is to make it a little bit more liquid and possibly encourage more people to stake their Terra Luna Classic. This one, more even split right now. It is currently sitting at 49% yes votes and 48.5% no votes. So very split, but obviously needs a lot more votes. We only have 134 billion Terra Luna Classic accounted for right now. So hopefully this is a pretty all-encompassing update on what is going on in the Terra Luna Classic community right now. I want to know your guys' thoughts. Are you excited about Coinbase? I'm excited. I do think Coinbase will relist once that judge makes the decision.
All right, so I played a little bit more than I thought I was going to play, but basically speaking, and let me turn some things back on. The way I look at it is, and I also want to hear, of course, what you guys think about this. Let me turn on one more banner. Yeah, the logo. Okay. Here's the thing, okay? And I really, truly want to hear what you guys think about this, because I know some of you guys are still invested in the Luna Classic. I'm still in it. I didn't sell for a loss. I didn't move things around. I still have about $4,400 invested in Luna Classic, right? So if anything, I'm still rooting for this thing like more than the next guy. I think personally that, there's a combination of factors here. So on the short term, increasing the gas fees, right? Like you mentioned, it would be about 2x from where it is now. I think was the gas fee like 0.000, was it 5 zeros and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's either 4 or 5 zeros and a digit. So increasing that, I mean, is it going to make that much of a difference? And with all these things that he's mentioning, would it make sense more on the short term or the long term? Now, if it's on the long term, we get the ecosystem more built and so on. You have other projects that, let's face it, are going to be back into the ecosystem and so on. And you have this burn rate, or not burn rate, these gas fees applied still, and nothing has changed, right? We're kind of split of where we're at right now. On this might not even pass, right? But let's say it did. Then it ends up being a good thing. Will it be good enough for the long term? I mean, the way I look at it is, and I hate to use this reference, but like Ethereum, insanely big gas fees. This isn't insanely big gas fees, but could it be just enough to kind of, I guess you could say, possibly get us over the hump? And if so, what could that entail? I mean, especially if we were able to get just like a couple solid good projects into the ecosystem within the next couple years. Because let's face it, within the next couple years, am I going to believe that there's going to be nothing on, built out on this ecosystem, and that it is literally going to be a crypto ghost town for Luna Classic? I don't think so. If there wasn't enough talk, especially last year, there's still going to be talk about this and so on. And you do see the community consistently bringing up decent proposals. Yeah, it's been a long time since I talked about it and so on, but I feel as though, and again, I saw some of you guys' comments, right? Some of you guys are for Calibro, some of you aren't. But the point is, I thought the material that he presented was good material. It does bring up some valid questions or concerns about Luna Classic. So do you guys feel that this is good, or do you feel as though, no, thumbs down, the focus should still be on USTC and how we could repeg USTC? Because it's like, I guess you could say that it's the trickle down effect. Like USTC repegs, then when it's all gravy, then naturally speaking, all the, you want to talk about building out the ecosystem and so on, all these, not necessarily old projects will come back, but it will open up the floodgates, so people are like, it instills confidence again into it. And that's where it's at. More proposals specifically on that. It's so mixed in regards to the whole thing. There's nothing that's unanimous, but I don't know. I came across it. I haven't watched any of his videos for the longest time as well. But that particular video, I guess, like, got a lot of views, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this for the heck of it. And I thought he basically came up with some very valid information and so on. So what do you think? Good for short term, bad for short term, great for the long term, bad for the long term? Or do you think it's a combination of both, and like the last one, or nope, all the way, just focus on the repegging of USTC, and then everything else will come after that? All right, so that concludes that brief Luna Classic tidbit. Going to read just a few more comments after this. I'm going to show you guys what we got for the lineup. Believe it or not, it's going to be an honorable mention with a little bit of a segment for Clearpool. If you don't know what Clearpool is, I'm going to show you guys just a tad bit of what was featured here recently in the news. Very well worth sharing, in my opinion. And if anything, it was the first cryptocurrency I ever covered. I did like over 35 videos on Clearpool. No, I was never paid by them. But nonetheless, let's get back into comments for a brief bit. Yeah, really welcome, Josh. Welcome back, Josh. Not sure what your goal is for XLM, but long term, okay. All right, let's go further down. Rashad says, yeah, you definitely won't be able to sell on Coinbase when it's a bull run. All right. Quant, yes, one day indeed. All right, let's see what we got from Ahmed. He says he got 10,000 USD profit last week when Stellar XM pumped like an idiot. I didn't take it. Went straight back down to my average price 2 days after. Well, Ahmed, you live to learn, man. It's all right. Don't be so hard on yourself, but I mean, you learn from mistakes. All right. The ghosts, I would butter done deal, Dixon's biscuits, and they. Well, all right, cool stuff. I for some reason didn't catch it at first. All right. The ghost sucks. His wifey will be in the Philippines for 7 weeks, and he'll be washing clothes. Jeez. All right. All right, let's go further down. Andrew Davis says, moving forward, you should also have Caspa in the thumbnail. Mr. Maximus, I know. Yeah, I get what you're saying. When I'm personally invested into it, it will definitely be there. Be sooner than you think. So, totally convinced on Caspa. There's a top 5 of ones I don't own, and it's definitely part of that top 5. Okay. All right. You got all of my Nexera. Okay. All right, let's read a few more, and then we'll kick it back. I knew that some cucumbers or eggplants were going to show up because of that guy, but that's all right. Craig Dunn, welcome back, or welcome. Max, can you make more videos on Rio? You know what? I realized on that first Rio video, we got kind of like, I guess you could say, a small community of people that enjoyed it. We got quite a few subs from that. So, yeah, I can definitely do that. It's just there's only so much time in one day, and I do recognize. I'm not trying to make excuses, but really there is. But you know what? I could at least try to maybe, I don't know, get at least like one a week or something like that. If I see anything really significant, I definitely will try to remember that. No promises, but I do agree. That would be nice because Relio is a great project. And I still need to do a video on Propy, and maybe that attracts some people from Rio. But glad to have you here, Craig Dunn. And, hopefully some of you guys got into Relio, like when I originally was covering it, like roughly around, was it like the 4 to 8 cent level? And as we saw, it went as high as like 45 cents. So some of you guys like, man, I mean, you did at least like a 4X, maybe a 5X. Pretty nice. All right, let's see here. You blocked Matthew Perry. Well, you're not the only person who's said that. So anyway. All right. I want to welcome Blackwood, who's in the hood. That doesn't make any sense. You're not in the hood. This is not the hood of crypto. But welcome. Crypto Talk Now from Selmo Fudd. Thank you for being here, Mr. Selmo Fudd. Boom. Thank you. All right. All right. Brian Dowie says, this is a serious channel. Can you guys chill with the comments? You guys have fun, man. I mean, maybe if I'm not reading every comment, doesn't mean you guys can't have fun. Have fun. I know you guys are going to have fun anyway. We should always have fun. All right. Let's see what else we got in here. Mentalect. Hello. Is it Mentalect we're looking for? Wait for it. Lionel Richie. Yes. Welcome to the one, the only Mentalect, aka Candlestick Maker. Always put a smile on my face to see you, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well today. Great Jasmy ambassador you are. You think I haven't recognized that? You better believe we recognize that. Shout out to the one and only Mentalect. And I don't know. Maybe we start a new thing, man. Instead of Lionel Richie, maybe it's like, hello, is it Jasmy you're looking for? Lionel Richie. That part wouldn't make sense, though, would it? Yeah, I don't know if we do that. But anyway, yes, Lionel Richie. Welcome. You're not Lionel Richie, but, come on. Larry started this whole thing, man. I had to go with it. There's a couple things I always look forward to saying on the show, all right? So one is when Boomer Effin Sooner does his opening comment, I'm just like, Boomer Effin Sooner, right? And then when you come, Mentalect, and I'm like, hello, is it Mentalect we're looking for? Lionel Richie. Yes, Mike Cornwell. Lionel Richie. Mike Cornwell used to tag me on posts, and he would be like, yes, this is the news you're looking for. And then ... Lionel Richie. You didn't realize that was going on, Mentalect. That was going on crypto Twitter. All right. Maybe I'm losing some people talking about some of this crazy stuff, but all right, Elon Musk, 7:31 p.m. It is now 7:38, only 7 minutes ago. One time, a thing occurred to me. What's real and what's for sale? Blew out of the dust from my eye sockets. What's real and what's for sale? Okay, all right. Tim Shea, the Cosmos connection and the repeg are important for Luna Classic. Yes. And we have talked about the whole thing with the, Cosmo many months ago. Probably think at the beginning of the year we were talking about some of that stuff, or maybe actually not the beginning of the year, late last year, right? Honestly, I would trade my classic for XLM. I hear you, but my thing is like I just don't want to just keep doing stuff for a loss, and I don't really do much stuff for a loss. But you know, I understand people got to do what they got to do. I'm never selling my XRP or XLM at a BSV, and then this is where we do need Marv from Home Alone, where he's like, never. Yeah, you need that. Sweaty balls and mud butt crack in those elements. Oh God, yikes! I knew that. You know what I said to myself? This is kind of funny, Selmo. So earlier, you know, I was like, I got to make something. So I was like, I'm gonna make some pho, right? Because it's I gotta admit, I make some really good Vietnamese beef noodle soup with some shrimp. And I was making it, and for some reason, I'm not kidding you, man. For some reason, something struck my memory about Brian Dowie and the mud butt. And I was like, you know what? That'd be kind of weird if like mud butt just all of a sudden like came up on the show. And sure enough, yeah, didn't quite say mud butt, it says mud butt crack, but mud butt nonetheless. Yes. Shout out to Brian Dowie. Shout out to the one and only Rand. And congratulations, guys. Once again, this guy's probably going to have to go see a doctor. And it's Rand. He's going to go see that doctor, and he's going to be like, you know, I don't know, doc, but for some reason, my ears have been ringing at least once a week. At least once a week, doc. I don't understand it, man. My ears ring uncontrollably, usually around the time of 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, for like somewhere in that window. I can't understand it. Oh, really? Is that true, Rand? Always around that time. Yeah, it's really, really bad. My ears start ringing really bad, uncontrollably. Well, did you go hunting recently? No, I didn't go hunting or anything. I went fishing last week. Oh, okay. Well, do you wear headphones? No, I don't wear no headphones. Just for some reason, at least once a week, between those hours, you know, that time frame, my ears start ringing. He has no idea what you guys keep mentioning in the comments. All right. Gonna read a couple more comments, and if anything, thank you for that. That's what Larry used to always say. He used to always say that. All right, Max, thank you for that. I'll be all right. Back to you, Larry. I'm gonna be like a chair completely empty. Vaseline. Yes, you're very welcome. Yes, it is. Sometimes. All right. Brian, Max, you thought about me and mud butt when you're making soup. Yeah, isn't that horrible? Because it's, you know, yeah. Yeah, it was just kind of out of nowhere. It had nothing to do with the soup. I think it's because, you know, you guys assumed that one day when I was really sick that I had mud butt. But that wasn't the case. To all the newcomers, I know you're probably wondering, like, what the heck? What is this? Supposed to be talking about crypto and talking about mud butt. You could thank Brian Dowie for this. It gets brought up at least once or twice a week. You can also thank Selmo Foot about this too. All right. Cool Cat Crypto. I don't really see any investment into Luna Classic. Okay, fair enough. And if we were to repeg somehow, who in the right mind would trust it? Well, I'm just looking at it from the perspective of there's a lot, you know, like if I'm going to look at some community driven projects, I still think Luna Classic still has a strong community, and some things could happen in regards to the bull market or the height of the bull market. So, you know, and it ain't going to take me long to get back into the profits for my Luna Classic, and I'm good with that. Do I shift some things around after I get into the profits? You better believe I could do that and still save like a moon bag. But as far as me swapping it all at a loss, I'm not doing that. Rob G, did he already talk about H-bar? No. Today is not H-bar. We don't talk about all the things all in one show. We used to do that. It ends up being like a 5-hour show, but you know, probably H-bar, more like tomorrow, maybe the day after. But welcome, Rob G. Glad to have you. And you're honored. That's cool. Boom. All right. He says, new here. Do you have an HBAR price prediction for 2025? You're hoping for at least $1. I have it well past $1 by 2025. I'll just leave it at that. And yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, by 2025, some point in 2025, whether it's by the end, I feel as though that we could very well be in the utility run by that time. It's a possibility. But I do see HBAR even higher than $1. Maybe some people think that's crazy. I don't think so. There's just too much there with HBAR or Hedera for me just to say, yeah, it's only going to go to its previous all-time highs. I think it far supersedes that. Ryan prefers. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, no problem. All right, let me go further down and. Wow, you guys got some interesting comments. All right, Edward Vincent. Not only would you swap at a loss, then your trade goes down and you get a second loss. That's a good point. Max is doing a 5-hour show. Cool. No, I'm not. I'm going to do a couple more segments and that's it. Yeah, no problem. Hey, and Rob G, I hope to see more of you. Consider changing your avatar to something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about. Everybody, please welcome Rob G. Almost makes me think of what Larry was talking about earlier. You know, it takes two to make the thing go right, you know. All right. Aquaman, my NyQuil not kicking in. I should chug the whole. No. You know, you don't want to channel Pimp C. You know, RIP to Pimp C. You know, you don't want to be sipping on some scissor and then you don't get to experience any utility run in the future because you're dead from drinking too much of that stuff, right? All right, so let's go ahead and let's get back into it. All right, so please smash that like. Let's kick it into what we have. All right, so we're going to give you guys a little bit of education and an update. So if you don't know what the term of RWA is, basically it's like this, right? We know in crypto that the term means real world assets. And basically it's the process of converting the value of ownership and any associated rights and tangible or intangible assets into what? Digital tokens. I want to share something with you guys. Let's jump into it. And here's the honorable mention. And basically that is in regards to Clearpool. Now you got to keep in mind, this is the first cryptocurrency project I ever covered. If you're wondering what Clearpool basically is, it is the tokenization of DeFi lending. Now, why is that important? Well, for numerous reasons. If I'm a startup business or I'm an established one, or the case be, I might just be a business that just needs to raise a bunch of capital and I need to raise it pretty darn soon. Clearpool is one of those solutions for that. So when I originally started my crypto content creator journey, if you will, I did a bunch of coverage on Clearpool because I felt as though it was a project that flew under the radar. When it was first launched, it went from literally 40 cents to like over $2.47 in 2.5 weeks. It was very, very impressive. All right, let's jump into this for a brief moment. And this is not going to be a deep dive into Clearpool by any means, but it's been making some significant headway, in my opinion, that I felt as though was finally worth pointing out. But this is great. This is reference from Fortune AFI, higher yield backed by real world assets. And it states the writing is on the wall, right? Like I just mentioned to you guys about RWA, hence why I defined it for you. States is set to take a bite out of DeFi and fuel the next leg of crypto growth. Don't just take their word for it. Their RWA to DeFi total value locked ratio hit a year, or I should say YTD high in the second quarter of 2023. Hence why I want to point out some of this to you guys. The growth was led by Ondo Finance, Centrifuge, and others. Now, there's a few guys that are in, you know about Centrifuge, right? I'm going to blow this up, though. And I guess that's big enough. All right. So, actually, you know what? I'll pull this up on the other page. I'm sorry. But I want to point some of these things out to you guys. Yeah, that's a little bit bigger. That looks a little bit bigger. All right, cool stuff. All right, so here's some of these ratios of RWA to DeFi total value lock ratio versus crypto TradeFi RF yield spread, second quarter 2023. You see what's listed here. And you know what? Clearpool is still, I would say, like a low cap, right? I still feel as a low cap gem. Doing pretty darn decent, to say the least, right? It's based off what you see on this chart. So what I want to share with you guys is this right here. And if anything, what I want to show you guys is basically there's a few things, of course, that happen. The rise of tokenized securities and so on. So let's get back to this. And the CEO or the co-founder of Clearpool, Rob Alcorn, okay, he wrote an op-ed, or OOP, I should say, for Crypto Slate. And I know some of you guys do read things on Crypto Slate. Just in case you don't know who they are, they're a comprehensive and contextualized source of crypto news, right? Focus on BTC, DeFi platforms, AI, a little bit of everything, right? Anyway, he wrote this thing on how there's an outlook for DeFi lending and how it remains basically strong. Now, just hear me out on this. We don't talk about this a lot. But with the industry maturing, it seems as though it's ripe for what? Institutional adoption. Again, hence why on this outline earlier, we're talking about who are some of the big institutional players? Why is it that something that we should all pay attention to? Well, if I'm going to be excited about generational wealth, I understand the institutional adoption is the key towards the path forward for the utility run and so on, right? So we're going to get into this for a brief moment. It's not a real long one, but nonetheless, I thought it was a really excellent write-up. It says the DeFi lending market, if you're not aware of this, continues to grow this year with a 20.5% increase in total value locked. The share consensus among TradeFi and crypto native institutions, think about what's mentioned here, is that DeFi has the potential to solve the problems that led to systematic failures in, for instance, centralized finance back in 2022. Crypto and DeFi continue to draw institutional attention. Of course, notably, we know about this. BlackRock, you knew I was going to mention this eventually, right? Filing, of course, for that BTC ETF. On top of that, this company, which is Franklin Templeton, we talk about them a lot, especially when it comes to Stellar coverage. They're a partner of Stellar. They launched a crypto product, and we cover this. You saw the lady being interviewed with Denell Dixon. But the launch of a crypto product that tokenizes U.S. government securities, cash, and repurchase agreements with, for instance, Polygon. Now, a few months ago, or many months ago, there was that whole thing that happened with Clearpool and Polygon, right? That little partnership. Good stuff. Speaking of institutions, let's get back to this topic. JP Morgan's tokenizing of TradeFi assets, processing nearly $700 billion in short-term loan transactions. Jane Street's group, first of its kind loan agreement with Block Tower for $25 million worth on Clearpool. And by the way, I did cover that before I joined up, or actually maybe I was at the beginning when I joined up with CTN. At that time, that was the very first example of Wall Street using a DeFi platform, right? And it was Clearpool. That was a big deal. How about this? The main obstacle for traditional institution remains regulatory clarity and compliance. How many times do we talk about that on, I don't know if it's daily, but darn near daily, especially recently. However, significant progress has been made across Asia and the Middle East. Let's talk about innovation. Innovation is also needed as DeFi protocols must develop sophisticated products to attract a more diverse user base. Very true. And you're literally seeing a lot of that happen in recent news. The focus should be enabling a secure and compliant environment, ensuring liquidity and efficient pricing to market participants. But how so? And how long is that going to take? And who's going to help those participants get to the goals that they need to achieve? The digital assets industry will become an integral part of the global economy. Think about that. The digital assets industry. the global economy, the TradeFi industry, listen to this, guys, because we're always talking about TradeFi, will always have its place, but it will be augmented by the decentralized financial ecosystem we are building today. DeFi is not just surviving, it's set to thrive. Some people recently have been fudding the whole concept of DeFi. Why? Because you were not able to survive the bear market, or you came basically at the height of the last bull market and you got wrecked because everybody told you to get into DeFi and you came in at the wrong time. Think about it for a moment. DeFi is not just surviving, like it says, it's set to thrive. I know I repeated that. There's a full piece about this, and I'm not going to get into the full piece, but if anything, I'm going to get into some of the key highlights. So Robert Alcorn, he's a guest, and he was featured on Crypto Slate. Okay, that's the bottom line. It says, as we enter the midpoint of 2023, the DeFi lending market continues to grow. And I pointed out some of these key things. Regulation through presenting hurdles for the propelling evolution of DeFi. There's been this emphasis, for instance, about the scrutiny of the need for KYC. You saw what's going on, for instance, with KuCoin. Like, what the heck is going on with some of this stuff, right? But, we need to have the correct protocols to basically enable, like it says, the institutional DeFi adoption. Now, look what's mentioned here. DeFi outperformed centralized finance. Like I always say, and I know some people point this out. Were you aware of that? No. Some people were, some people weren't. Since the 2021 DeFi boom, decentralized exchanges trading volume has grown consistently, showing a clear shift from centralized exchanges with their opaque practices, questionable risk management, so on and so forth. Oh, by the way, Uniswap is going to a V4. Were you aware of that? Before establishing Clearpool, Robert Alcorn was the APAC head of repo trading. I know it sounds kind of crazy, right? We think of repo, like repossessed car and stuff like that. Anyway, head of repo trading at First Abu Dhabi Bank, where he built the sales and trading desk from the ground up. He literally lives, I believe, in Abu Dhabi, or what is it? The main crypto hub of the world. Dubai. My God, what's wrong with me? Too much reading, getting late in the day. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, he was part of that, and he helped build the sales and trading desk from the ground up into a multi-billion-dollar franchise. I mean, come on. Like, this guy's got a robust background. He's a smart guy. I could give you a lot more information, but I don't want to make it too big of a deep dive. Along the side of this role, Rob initiated and led a project to build an automated wealth management platform using blockchain tech. During his career, Rob has held positions in asset and liability management, fixed income money market sales, and working as a senior broker in fixed income markets. In 2021, Rob co-founded Clearpool to solve one of the most significant problems facing DeFi borrowers. This was his dream, to create a platform to create a solution. And that's one thing that definitely interests me. And just to give you guys a little bit of a background, myself, the reason why, and some people have asked me this in the past, and I never really got a chance to actually put in video format. The main reason why I personally got into Clearpool is for one of these main reasons, okay? And that is back in 2015, 2016, back in 2015, I just finished my bachelor's degree. And I was, really gung-ho about the whole idea of, the concept of making my own video game and so on. So, I met up with Activision, met up with Electronic Arts a long time ago. And that letdown of, being basically told that you need to raise more capital. And on top of that, meeting with these venture panels and how greedy they were and so on. At that time, I think in 2016, I just got into Bitcoin, BTC. And I wasn't able to purchase a full Bitcoin, but I was able to buy some Bitcoin on Coinbase. And while that was, I guess you could say, an exciting time, being introduced to the whole, concept of cryptocurrency, it wasn't until early 2021 I got really heavily into altcoins. And some of you guys know that story. But my thing is, if I would have known about a DeFi, the tokenization, a DeFi training, a platform, if you will, like Clearpool, I think I would have went about things a lot more differently and with the people I was networked with at the time. And that would have been a great solution. My point is this, right? Like it shows right here. In 2021, Robert Alcorn co-founded Clearpool to solve one of the most significant problems facing DeFi borrowers. And that basically is this: over collateralization. Rob is a CFA charter holder and holder of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, FinTech certificate in future commerce. What an honor. And how impressive it is to see somebody from MIT, for instance, create a platform like this. So, you guys have always stated that you like to find the quote unquote low cap gems, if you will. Clearpool is one of those projects that I have been invested in since, like, for instance, 2021. And I DCA'd into it probably at least 6 times, maybe 8 times. I don't know. My last time I bought more C-Pool was not that long ago. I think I quadrupled my position into C-Pool, right? It still flies under the radar, in my opinion. And if anything, I thought I'd give you guys this little brief thing because it mentions the institutional adoption. And you know what? There's still quite a few borrowers on their platform, and they're utilizing them as a platform for just that: the tokenization of DeFi lending. They definitely need to raise capital. When we get more and more of this mass adoption, you'll see more institutions that will come in, use their platform for DeFi lending and so on. It simply makes sense. And that's a big deal. When you see things like, for instance, what I was mentioning earlier, about like that one, company that's a big powerhouse player from Wall Street, Jane Street, basically, that was a big deal. So I thought I would bring this to you guys. It's just kind of like a little brief update. We get an honorable mention. I'm going to now jump into a little bit more coverage that we have. And of course, it's in regards to QNT. After that, I'll give you a brief little thing for Jasmy. And then after that, we're going to wrap things up. All right. So I'm going to get back into the comments and let's see what we have. Basically speaking, it is from Rob G. He says he was big into ADA in 2017, never sold, learning his mistakes. Okay, yeah, you didn't sell it back when it went up to like over $2. I get you what you're saying. Well, I learned from my mistakes too. I overpaid for my I was gonna say Clearpool. No, not my Clearpool, for my ADA. And that was another one I threw like 4K into, and boy, got wrecked on it. So that is a real super long-term hole for me. But I'm trying to justify my Cardano, and I'm like, well, where are we at? Like 35 cents, something like that. Do I buy another bag to justify how much I overpaid into it to offset? That's the power of the DCA. I don't think I do that, because the way I look at it, there's a lot more better opportunities for me. I'm not flooding anybody's ADA because I myself am into it still, but I think that my money could be more well invested in other projects at lower prices. Perfect examples like what a lot of you guys are investing in, and that is Caspa, right? The New England clam chowder version of Casper. No, I'm kidding. I always call it that though. All right. You're from Texas. That's cool. Just eat an edible instead of NyQuil. That's a good point. All right. Let's see here. No. So, for instance, KuCoin had very attractive staking, right, for Clearpool. A while back, they took the staking off, and they informed people about that and so on. Now you could still stake on the actual Clearpool mainnet. And I believe it's over 20%. It used to be 50%, which was not too bad. And then if you committed for, like, I think it was 2 years, you do 100%. I said to myself, myself like, I don't want my clear pool locked up for 2 years. You know what I mean? Now, if I would have locked it up, I think I could have got for 1 year at 50%. And that would have been fine, right? Because basically speaking, it's just like, I still don't think I'm going to, by the end of 2023, I don't know. I mean, we should see some significant gains, but it was still like, it was kind of like on the fence, like, you never know. I mean, what if things are like, going to be really bullish and then it's all locked up, So, I don't know. I might do this like 6 months on their mainnet. And if you have Clearpool, you might want to look into that as well. But their mainnet is live, and you can do it on their platform if you choose to do so. All right, let's see here. Let's go further down. Let's see where we're at. All right. You guys are talking about stuff back in the day. Boomer F. Sooner said back in his day, he took a huge pull of the rubber cement paper fresh off the copier back in the 70s. Oh, God. All right, let's see here. Yeah. Photocopying your butt or something. All right. What did the tree have to say? Tree fitty? I don't know. What's the answer? Hold on. Did he give us the answer? I don't know. All right. You don't remember? You were 12 back in 82. I was 1 year old. Huh, that's crazy. I don't know where you're going with that. I mean, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're having fun. So, boom. All right. I always think of Deadpool when Max covers Clearpool. Well, that would be a bad thing to say about Clearpool, right? I mean, I guess some voters would call it like Deadpool, because it has its moments, and other times it's just a lot of consolidation. I mean, it gets the criticism. Don't get me wrong. All right. Ahmed, Cool Cat Crypto. Meth was legal in the U.S. Crazy, a life-wrecking drug was available to everyone. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. Twister 2 stopped. They all went home. Oh, they stopped with the production filming and stuff. Huh. All right. The strike has to do with Hollywood. I saw something about that. Christopher Nolan says he won't do another film until that strike is over. And rightfully so. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they got to do what they got to do. Iron Maiden's self-titled album is your favorite. Oh, you were like some hardcore, heavy metal. My next door neighbor, his name was Charlie. Man, that guy was probably one of my favorite neighbors I ever had. He was like a hardcore Iron Maiden fan. Man, that guy would work out on his truck late at night, like in the summer. You got to keep in mind, like, this is when I was like in middle school and stuff. And he'd be working on the weekends. I mean, nobody really complained because it's like, hey, it's the weekends. No, you always mention the Karens. We didn't really have any Karens, if you will, but he'd be working on his old truck, and then he'd be like, bam, 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 and then he would like drop, like, his hammer, and it would like land on his face or his hand or something. And you want to talk about somebody that with like every other word out of his mouth is like an F-bomb. All you hear all night long is bam, 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 boom, mother, blankety blank, over and over and over again. It was hilarious. But while he was just blasting Iron Maiden all the time, I would come over and visit with him quite a bit. But like he had, he would show me like his vinyl collection. He's, all the Iron Maiden stuff. That guy was like a hardcore Iron Maiden fan. But I like some of Iron Maiden, not all of it, but I like a lot of heavy metal too. All right. So let's see here. Let's welcome the one and only Patrick Collier. Welcome. Glad to have you here, man. Chase here. He says, I didn't know you were bullish on Casper. I'm bullish on Casper and Caspa. I'm not personally invested into the New England clam chowder version. The Caspa, I soon will be. All right. And I'll let you guys know when that happens, of course. That's all good. I mean, I know you meant well, my friend. It's okay. All right. It's all good. All right, let's read this real quick because the second last comment. Cool Cat Crypto. I heard a crazy conspiracy theory that they were staging that strike so they could sneak all the actors out of Hollywood without anyone knowing because something very bad is about to happen there. I've seen some of the crazy conspiracy theories myself. I've heard things about it has, some people are saying like this whole new movie. I haven't seen it yet. This lady who's like an aunt to me, it was one of my best friends who he passed away many years ago. Is his mom. She and my dad's best friend went and saw. I mean, they're like way younger than my dad. Like he's like 10 years younger. She's like, I don't know. She's like 71. My dad's like almost 89. But anyway, they went and saw that movie. That new movie, right? With the new Mel Gibson movie. What the heck was it called? But anyway, they said that was like really well done. And then of course on crypto Twitter, because you know how it is on crypto Twitter if you ever use it, like people will post things that have nothing to do with crypto, right? Sometimes like our show has been in the past and so on. And you just see your whole feed flood with the whole thing, Sound of Freedom, I think it was called. And I saw some crazy theories about that. Like, now all of a sudden there's a strike and so on. I don't know. Is it a coincidence? I think so, but people are all over that. All right. Ever Vincent says, aka Squidward, Mr. Squidward. Anyway, I don't mean that in a bad way. I know that Mike Cornwell always says that you're Squidward now. Back in the day, it might have been believable that all the celebrities were getting arrested for human trafficking, aka clients of Epstein. Oh boy, I'll tell you guys something that's kind of crazy, right? So, oh man, I saw this on Twitter, and I thought it was one of the craziest recent things. I didn't think it was true, but like the saying goes, Google it, noob. Somebody posted on Twitter about Antarctica. There's literally a place called Rothschild Island, and there's another place that's next to it that means something like some other crazy thing. And the guy was just like, nobody's talking about this. I want to know what the hell is this, and I don't know. It's just crazy. Like when you mention some of this stuff, like, Epstein Islands, I don't know, has some kind of weird name, right? And then I don't know, man. Like there's some weird conspiracies, but anyway. Kevin Spacey about to sing like canary on Hollywood. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Place is evil. All right. Let's go further down. Let me see how I'm doing on my time real quick because I gotta pretty much go here soon. All right. KS is the main one who supposedly is a sick, nasty individual. There are theaters that are actually refusing to show that new movie, Sound of Freedom. Why? I mean, I believe you, but why? I'll guess I'm making a documentary about it. The two Coreys have been trying to exploit Hollywood for years. Yeah, well, now it's one Corey, but I hear you saying Corey Feldman now. Something strange going on in Antarctica for sure. They won't let. Yeah, I mean, that's just strange, man. I mean, what's up with that? I used to think like, why is that? And then my friend, I mean, he's one of my best friends, but he is a flat earther. I'm not a flat earther. If you're a flat earther, I mean, I don't judge you guys, but he just thinks that's weird too. But I mean, flat earther or not, right? It is really weird that nobody can fly over it. Yeah. Hey, welcome back to Steve the Canadian. It's not a conspiracy, although it gets more disturbing when you realize that there are many, many islands. Well, fair enough. Glad to have you here, Steve the Canadian. Steve, is everything cool with you guys? Lazy Shaman Show. It used to be called the Lazy Shaman Show, featuring Steve the Canadian. I'm not trying to cause drama or anything, but that's what I saw. I didn't know if everything was cool. I don't know. I just wish you guys the best. All right, they won't show the movie because it is true. Okay. I don't know. I want to see it. I know that much, but I've gone to 2 movies within the last 3 years. So this year it was Fast 10, which that movie is okay. I still think Fast 5 was the best one, personally. And then the other movie I saw, which was last year, was Top Gun Maverick, and I love that one. But I used to go to movies all the time, but not as much anyway. Rob G, the movie came out 3 years ago, and finally it's released. Oh, interesting. All right. The Liechtenstein Exchange. Jasmy in the house. All right, I'm kidding. I'm going to read a couple more comments. Flat Earth stuff is very interesting. Not sure if I buy it or not. My thing is just, I'm like I was telling my friend, like, am I supposed to believe that everybody from NASA are all liars? Everybody from obviously SpaceX is all liars. Video cameras, like, it's just all got giant conspiracy. Even Russian, astronauts, that's all conspiracy, and like this is all fake footage, and it's just, no, I'm not gonna. If you're a flat earther, you're a flat earther, and I'm not disrespecting anybody, but no. Yeah. Aim died. Anyway, I like some of those old movies that they were in. All right. Oh, okay. I understand where you're coming from. Well, bless both of you guys, all right? All you guys on your journey. For real. I mean that, man. Hey, Steve. I mean that, man. Okay? Thank you. All right. Celebrity Slay the Children. All right. Hope you have been doing well as well, Max. P.S. Maverick was still movie of the year for me. There haven't been many since that were. Yeah, I love that movie. I thought it was great. Both Top Gun movies were great. So, all right, let's go ahead and highlight Steve's comment as a bookmark. Ugh, man, this side of the house is just getting hot, man. I even cranked the AC down, brand new air conditioner. You know what it is? It's like the outside heat is just radiating in somehow. I do need to get new insulation for the house. There's enough insulation, but it needs more. It needs more proper insulation. But I'm not going to work on that. When it's hot summer, forget that, man. Yes, yesterday it melted like a snow cone in Phoenix, as Mrs. Doubtfire once said, right? But anyway. All right, let's kick it back into the coverage. And I do appreciate you guys. We have some decent numbers tonight, right? I'll check some of the stats later on. But, yeah, I had to bring some Clearpool to you guys because you know what? If it wasn't for that, I probably never would have met you guys, right? So glad to share some of that with you guys. Let's give you guys a brief QNT segment. Turn off that fan real quick. And this is from a new guy, right? Not Quant Papa. Love Quant Papa, but he's got a lot of info for me, and I have to get into and so on. I'm almost able to mention the whole thing about KPMG and Quant. And I was talking about the thing about KPMG, Quant, and Jasmy, and Mr. You-know-who, Mr. Bellwether, was saying I was full of crap. You're not full of crap. And I got some stuff to back that up. Oh, yeah. All right. That's for another day. All right. So anyway, let's check this out. It says, hold up, Quant holders. This guy, Keta, did some digging on the latest Quant Network blog. This is a short little segment, but I think you're going to appreciate this. Let me see. You guys can see it okay. Yep, you can. All right. Please smash that like. I know we're a little bit late into the show, but look at this for a second. Boston Consulting Group Incorporated is an American global management consulting firm founded all the way back in 1963. They're headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. And it says, mind you, Boston Consulting Group made $11 billion in revenue back in 2021. All right. So here's some interesting things. They have over 30,000 employees, 100 plus offices in 50 different countries. BCG partners, look what they're partnered with. Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, IBM. Yeah, World Economic Forum. Yeah, I know. Anyway, Google and many more. He cannot slap you in the face with more bullish information. If you're not buying, enjoy being broke. I don't want to be disrespectful. My thing is this, right? Like, you either see the light or you don't. I'm not judging you, right? But look what's mentioned here. All right. July 17th, 2023. What day is today? July 17th, 2023. Real estate tokenization where bricks meet blockchain by the Quant editorial board. And look what's referenced on the tag. Boston Consulting Group. Yeah, almost ready to drop a mic on that one. We go to the next page. Some of their partners. Partnership is one of BCG's core values. They, of course, collaborate across a diverse ecosystem of partner organizations to drive shared value and just that, innovation. And everything he mentioned, you do see it here. I mean, who's not bullish on some of this stuff? I would be. I would absolutely be. So this is a quick little thing, and shout out to this guy who is Keta. You can follow him at Keta132, right? Obviously, he's really big up on Quant. That's just a quick little Quant segment, if you will. So, but it was pretty darn impressive. I thought it was, at least. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are like, I don't see the light when it comes to Quant. Whatever. All right, teach us on. Let's jump into the Jasmy segment, and then after that, it's going to conclude our coverage for the night. You guys will see some recorded videos and so on. I'm telling you flat out, hopefully I get it out tonight, right? Hopefully I get it out tonight. Maybe I get it out, maybe I don't, but watch out for the Jasmy video of the compare and contrast of Jasmy, Ocean Protocol, and I believe the other one's called PIL. I can't, or it might be called, it's P something. I can't remember, All right, so I want you guys to see this, okay? And shout out to 279, who does a great job of sharing the consistent updates for Jasmy, okay? So Jerome Powell, let's face it, Fed now is coming out here soon. Literally what, guys? Is it this Thursday? Thursday, Fed now goes live, all right? But I don't think we see anything significant until the 21st. I'm just going to call it. I think some of you guys feel the same way. Maybe we don't see anything significant until Monday. Who knows, right? But if it's a 24/7, 365, then reports should literally show up the next day, right? Right. All right. So in reality, there's a lot to be paying attention here. July 15th, this guy who's not Jerome Powell, right, posted BlackRock has all the real estate. Bill Gates has all the farmland. Mark Zuckerberg has all the data. I don't know about all the data, but he's definitely up there, right? We know that. The Fed has all the money. Well, our money in the United States, they don't have all the money. It's a big club. You ain't in it. I hear you. But I could be invested into the clubs that may very well be in it, right? Like, I hear where you're coming from, Cool Cat. It's not going to be Ripple, right? Because no smart contracts. But XLM, I'm investing in that. Invested in both. So if I'm investing in some of those, maybe I don't have to be in it. I'm in a different way, right? All right. This is a Jasmy segment, though. Let's reference the part about Mark Zuckerberg. So 279 states Japan has implemented measures aimed at preventing Mark Zuckerberg from obtaining personal data. True. Requiring companies to abstain from selling customer information. Right. That's the whole concept of a personal data locker, PDL. This ongoing initiative has been set in motion in Japan. Additionally, Jasmy emerges as a successful contender in fulfilling this objective. Why aren't more and more people on board with some of the recent statements of, and I'll give him a shout out, hope he's still watching, Menelect. Yeah, Menelect, I did see some of the comments you made, and it's very great statements. I appreciate it. As always stated, great intellect from Menelect on crypto Twitter, known as Candlestick Maker. And he has recently stated that Jasmy is basically like the godfather or the king of like data, basically, right? So additionally, if Jasmy emerges as a successful contender in fulfilling this objective, and is basically only a matter of time before Jasmy expands his reach to Western regions, then at the end of the day, 1 + 1 will always equal 2. But the key thing is we have confirmed some things that are originally speculative from a couple years ago. And that is basically this. Kunatake Ando, right? The Silicon Valley offices. So yes, they are expanding its reach to Western regions. And on top of that, we are seeing the reports about the secure blockchain PCs, the English versions, right? Not just reaching, Asia Pacific areas and so on. That's a big deal because we do know that if the utility is going to be implemented, people who are going to, for instance, use these secure PCs, once they get more of that mass adoption, more of the sales of the actual PCs, not just selling like 20,000 of these units, that's a big milestone, don't get me wrong. But real true mass adoption is when we see the reports of hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of these secure blockchain PCs being used. And then on top of that, people's personal data loggers being utilized on these PCs. That's huge in itself. You know, if we talk about the whole concept of like what Mike Cornwell was talking about on the payment rails, right? Ripple's XRP or especially Stellar's XLM, you know, swiping your debit card, your grandma or whoever it is, who knows nothing about blockchain, doesn't even know what that means. That's Greek to her. Or distributed ledger technologies, that's Greek to her, right? But she might have heard of the concept of crypto or possibly heard the concept of Bitcoin, but it doesn't matter because it's tied, you know, crypto is tied in to the debit card and they don't realize it. Well, if that's the case, again, secure blockchain PCs, these people who buy them, especially here in the United States, who never heard of blockchain, never heard of DLT and so on. All they know is that, hey, man, there's this Avita secure blockchain PC. There's an English version. This sounds cool, and this is a good price. I'm going to buy it. And then on top of that, the built-in PDL, again, the same type of example, but with a different use case where you're not, or the mainstream, I should say, you and I know this, but the mainstream doesn't even realize that it's tied into crypto. Again, another pathway forward for mass adoption. So yes, I would agree that it's expanding its reach to the Western regions. Here's some of that reference. OneTrust data guidance, regulatory research of software, governing text, Japan's data protection laws were substantially revised in 2015 with further material revisions coming into effect back in 2022. We saw this. Think about what's going on as we speak with DFFT. My last Jasmy update, I talked about how Taro Kono went to the European Union, some of the member states of the European Union, right? Finland, I think also Latvia, Estonia, some other places and so on, right? Why would Japan send their digital finance minister to go waste time to preach about DFFT, data free flow with trust, if there was nothing there? Of course, there's something there. And that is the regulatory framework that we're all have been talking about. It's just in the form of DFFT. They lead the pathway forward. It's too bad that the United States isn't. But with the Ripple victory, things are starting to change. So as we get more into this, it states that data protection is probably the most active area of law and is constantly evolving as the scope of personal information disclosed by individuals in day-to-day transactions expands and used by various different businesses and so on, and it becomes more widespread. The revised laws impose wider obligations on data transfers, in particular to offshore entities, and on the handling of data breaches. Now, what I want to show you is a brief bit from the actual OneTrust data guidance site. And there's a lot that's mentioned here. I'm not going to get into all of it because it's a lot, like I just said. But you can totally see, you know, this data protection overview about the regulations, the directives, the bills. I've done a deep dive on APPI, you know, how it's subject to substantial revisions. And they've had many different updates, not just back in 2017, but here recently. We understand also that there's updates to certain guidelines, like we have HIPAA laws, or HEPA laws, if you want to pronounce it the right way, here in the United States in regards to medical billing, medical data, and who can, you know, who has access to that data, or who can read those forms or print them out. You have to sign consent about that. But over in Japan, they have similar things, but it's a lot more complex and it's a lot more advanced. And as we know, when it comes to, you know, like it says, this data protection, Jasmy has these connections with the government. And you may think, well, no, that's not the case. Yes, it is the case. And things that used to be speculative are no longer speculative. We've had confirmation on some stuff. Hence why I provide you guys a lot of the information on the deep dives. But one of the key things I want to point out, and maybe guys get sick and tired of me mentioning this, is that CARE project. Now, some people say, well, big deal, CARE project. Who cares? You know, it's just Healthcare, but it's just with Jasmy. They don't got any other partners. Bull. Who's one of the biggest partners they have? It's Ripple. Yeah. So Jasmy is partnered with some big key players that are part of the mix. All right. And that is significant. Care Project is huge. All right. That pathway forward. I want to get into this part real quick. The financial sector, because for some people, everybody wants to, know where the institutional money is going to. And if we're going to talk about, Jasmy, like, do they really have something going on with the financial sectors? Well, yeah. Look what it says. For credit card business and businesses which use genetic information, the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry, which is METI, used or issued the following guidance. Guidelines for personal information protection. You guys wanted me to get to the juicy stuff. And credit industry, only available so far in Japanese as far as, to read it. I don't have the interpretation, but come on. Does that not sound bullish in itself? Guidelines for the protection of personal information in the industry using genetic information of individuals in the economic and industrial sectors. You don't think that sounds big? How about this one? Guidelines for personal information protection in the financial industries. Practical guidelines for security policies regarding personal information protection in the financial industry. Who was the first cryptocurrency to be actually approved by the FSA in Japan? That was, that's why they're called the Bitcoin of Japan. It's Jasmy. Flutter can flood that all they want, but if we're talking about the SEC here in the United States and how they label Ripple back 2020 as being security, well, what about Jasmy and the FSA, which is Japan's version of the SEC, but I at least have respect for them. That's huge, because the reason why it's huge is, again, they are well connected to the decision makers. And again, maybe some people just don't like me mentioning this, but I got to mention it once again. If you're a newcomer, Genki Oda, who is part of a key player of Bitcoin, who has, I think, something like 51% of, I forgot exactly what it was, but well invested and partnered with Jasmy. And Genki Oda is also part of SBI Japan. What did we find out here recently? SBI Japan has another key player that recently decided to go all in, if you will, in Japan. XDC. If you guys seen not my last deep dive video, but the video on QNT, Jasmy, and XDC breaks it all down for you. That's why we have these deep dives. That's why we have a recorded section. It's not just about the live shows, but find out more about it. You look more into it. If anything, I bring it to you guys in an actual recorded video, but it's big stuff. Japan is totally leading the way. And then to wrap it up, because we did talk about the CARE project, and then we'll end the show here in a bit. For the medical sector, the Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare, which is the MHLW, issued the following guidance. And before we wrap it up, you got to listen to this. Guidance for the appropriate handling of personal information by medical or care-related services. Guidance concerning safety management of medical information systems. So when we talk about the IoT and the medical parts of IoT, think about it, guys. Ethical guidelines concerning medical research targeting humans. Okay, you could throw in Japanese version of HEPA, which I believe is APPI, if I'm not mistaken. Ethical guidelines concerning analysis and research, human genome and genes. Guidelines concerning gene therapy. Ethical guidelines concerning research and assisted reproduction technologies that produce fertilized embryos, for instance. But the key thing is everything that's mentioned here in regards to medical. And if you think for a moment that the CARE project partnership is not that significant, then if anything, I don't think you understand the broader scope of things when it comes to Jasmy and that partnership with the CARE project. Think about this one last time. If Ripple was a diamond sponsor of IVS Crypto 2023, which they were, and that was a recent thing, Jasmy, for instance, was one of the key companies that were there as well. At the end of the day, think about like how well you can be connected to some of these things. Yeah, Jasmy doesn't have a key partnership or direct partnership with Ripple. But if anything, as the saying goes, it's not exactly what you know, it's who you know. Could have been very well possible that Jasmy was able to partner with the Care project by networking somehow with Ripple. Possibility. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but if both are partnered with the Care project, then it does make you wonder. Anyway, thought I'd give you guys the information. That concludes our coverage for the night on everything, and glad to bring it to you guys. Please smash that like on your way out. I'll read a few more comments, and if anything, we're going to end the show after the comments are read. All right, John Wick 4, the movie of the year, in my opinion. You want to hear something bad? I haven't seen a single John Wick, but I saw parts of the first one. I need to get into it because it looked, come on. I mean, I'm a fan of Keanu Reeves. It does seem like they're cool movies. I heard that with the sequels are better than the first movie. So it's not that I'm on board. There's a lot of movies I got to catch up on, shows, all that stuff. The one I'm going to start getting into, because I don't really watch a lot of TV like I used to. But there is one show I try to watch maybe a few times a week just to relax, and that's Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm like on the 8th season of that, but because I just want something that's going to cheer me up and make me smile and laugh and stuff. But I want to start watching Boardwalk Empire because I'm a big history buff. I used to teach history, as you guys know. And the way I look at it is, it just seems like a cool show. So anyway, but I will check out John Wick, all the movies at some point. Okay, cool stuff, man. Brian Dowie, you guys sure XRP doesn't have smart contracts? That's from what I viewed on some, because when some of you guys type some of these things, like I look more into it. From what I read, yeah, that seems to be a consistent no on that. But maybe I could find some other sources as well. I don't know, but it seems like no. And that's why, Triple C, Cool Cat Crypto is not the only one who's, I guess you could say, mentioned this. There is a few people on crypto Twitter that were pointing some of that out. Next time I'll retweet this, and if anything, I'll if you want, Brian, once I see it again, I'll tag you. That way, it's just you can see it immediately. It's not like oh hey, trying to downplay or like I told you so. It's nothing like that. But if you want, I could tag you on some of the stuff when I find more information on it next time, or just the conversations about it. But yeah, there's a whole back and forth thing. It's not just about XRP. Like, there's quite a few people or communities, I should say, because of the anticipation of Fed now, and even the Cypherium community is it's bad. Let's face it. I mean, it's like darn near like a cult. I never thought I would see like anything outside of meme tokens, that have, like, I guess you could say, like, kind of like a cult following, but nothing against some of the Cypherium people, but it's pretty nuts. There's this one guy, I shouldn't even mention his name, I'm not going to do it. Crypto Smith knows who I'm talking about. Starts with a W. I'm just going to state that. This guy completely dumped, or I should say power swap, because how I talk about power swapping. He power swapped all of his XRP for Cypherium, and he's still like pro Cypherium. And then even on their Telegram, I'm not a big fan of Telegram because I think it's real toxic. Those guys are still like swearing up and down, and even SkyGao of like it's Cypherium and the whole rest of the world full of crap, and that they're gonna like we'll show them. It's really bizarre. But in the very minute odd case that these guys are right, I'm like thinking to myself, it ain't gonna hurt me just to hold some, and that's why I never got out, dumped my position or sold or for a loss or whatever. But I get a lot of people when that ship was going down, right? Was it Cypress to Metacore when we posted that video, or those, a few of those videos? A lot of people got out of Cypherium, and they saw it kind of going down. They're like, crap, man, I'm gonna sell this before it's at a loss. I didn't do that. Maybe I should, and it should just like reposition myself at like close to 2 cents or wherever it's at right now. I'm not sweating it, you know what I mean? Because I put like 250 into it, $250, and I'm like, it's not the end of the world. But Brian, I know you're active on crypto Twitter. Look into yourself, man. Literally type in like $sign FedNow or hashtag FedNow, or you just do like there's some other searches that you can do. You'll see a lot of information. It's like so much back and forth. It gets a little tiresome. But yeah, that gets referenced a lot. Not like all the time, but I have seen it mentioned quite a few times, and it's ridiculous. All right, medical Jasmy, yeah. All right, GS, welcome. Glad to have you. Medical marijuana Jasmy is greater than medical Jasmy is great. Well, no, I'm reading that wrong. God dang it. Medical marijuana is greater than medical Jasmy. Sorry about that. All right, let's go further down. GS new strain. Fluffy Fluff and the Banana Hammocks, aka Darren Crumblesome. Max just watched a YouTube video on the line, the city of the future in Saudi. I saw that video, man. I saw it on a short. I saw it on YouTube. I know exactly what you're talking about. They're talking about how, can you imagine if you fit Manhattan into like a straight line, like this digital city or whatever, in Saudi? And they mentioned using projects data to improve the smart city. Hope Jasmy gets involved with the 9 million. Very, very well. Here's the thing. I think that's a possibility. Right now, that's speculative, right? But I know some people are like, dude, I thought you were going to wrap the show. I am. But one thing statement is this. So in the future, when we talk about Web3, we talk about smart cities and so on, are we going to be naive enough to think that that's all, it just ends with Japan? It just ends with Hong Kong. It just ends with those regions. It's never going to happen in the United States. I would state that I don't think we're ever going to see us embrace those concepts here in the United States. Different culture. It's just not going to work here. But it's going to work in those regions. And I think that once, like, for instance, the Saudis and so on recognize, hey, who are these guys that are part of these future, society 5.0 and so on? Well, there's this company in which, like, involved in blockchain, Jasmy and so on, they were tied in with the government, blah, blah, blah. And, you could basically say that they're like the pioneers of Web3. That definitely is big, because it's like, then, okay, like I was mentioning earlier with the CARE project, it's not exactly what you know, but it's who you know. So then they start networking with some of these guys. But this is like way out in the future. Let's just be honest about it. But I mean, it's pretty cool stuff, because this fuels the debate of, or the concept of, like some people say, like the moon bags, if you will. Do you dump your whole position just because you see Jasmy go to $1? That's the thing for me. It's like, I hit my goals for Jasmy as far as, like, having over 1 million, right? But at the same time, it's like I got new goals. Like, I need to have a second bag for, I guess you could say, like another 1 million. And then in the future, maybe the final bag would be like technically 3 million, and just cut them up in 3 separate bags for, like, we always talk about 2030. A lot of people talk about 2005, especially 2005, 2025, and especially 2026, because the Jasmy KPI numbers from the team and so on. Some people feel like that's BS. I don't think so. So let's say we at least get to $1, and then 2026 comes. Do we hit 17? I don't know, right? But I'm not going to set myself up so I dumped everything at $1, and I don't have things set up for the what ifs of 2026. But especially, I'm looking at the targets for like 2030 and so on. I think there's a lot of things going to happen in 2030. We talk about mass adoption for, crypto, DLT, blockchain adoption, the big institutional money coming into, the utility run and so on. But I also think by 2030 and forward, I know that we're going to be a lot older by then. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's 7 years down the line. I think the concept of carbon credits, like, that'll be a natural thing that more and more people will talk about. If that's a natural thing that more and more people talk about, what about the guys that were the pioneers of all these concepts, Hedera, Algorand. I know Algorand's been getting some FUD lately because of that one project that left. I get it. But my point is this, like, it's not just Hedera with carbon credits or Algorand. You better believe it's going to be Jasmy and so on. So you already see that. But it just depends on, at these price levels, like, are people willing to hold that long? I think most are not. But there's going to be a select few of us who will. Like I've always mentioned, I also think it depends on, I also think it depends on the person's age and, what they've gone through in their own life. If you're the type of person in which, like, I always use this reference that, you bought into the concept of a 401k, you bought into the concept of working at a company from, you're fresh out of college, but you're like, man, this is the company I want to retire with. I mean, some people are still doing that. I have nothing against that. Those people, if they bought into that concept with, outside of crypto, then I think they buy into the concepts of, holding on to 2030 and forward at these prices. If that's the case, I mean, those people don't even need to really even watch our show consistently, right? Because, or coverage, or anybody's coverage for that matter. That's a perfect case of kind of like when a person buys a stock, right? If it's a real great stock, they're going to buy it for cheap. They're going to hold it for the longest time, and they're going to come back in many years from now, or just pay attention to, like, when it goes to, with a portfolio management software, whatever the heck they use, and the times to sell and when not to, and so on. But yeah, Jasmy does get involved with some of those things, not because they choose to reach out, but I think at that point they'll be labeled as one of the pioneers of the current Web 2 to get us to Web 3, or the current Society 4.5 to get us to the concept of Society 5.0. So I have a couple things. I'll just give you guys just a quick preview. I know that I keep saying I'm in the show, but I swear. There's a guy, his name is David Siegel, and he created, he's basically the Satoshi Nakamoto, if you will, when it comes to the concept of personal data lockers. And I'll just leave it at that. Yes, he did create a cryptocurrency. It's not trending. It's not doing too well. It kind of looks really bad on the chart. The ranking is god awful. But he wrote books about some of this stuff. And he wrote books about this like many, many years ago, even before blockchain was invented. Okay. Even before I think BTC was a thing, So I'm going to reference some of this stuff. But I do think, like, kind of like what you mentioned, I mean, it's not that Jasmy gets involved by them reaching out. I think by then they'll be the pioneers, and it'll be like the Saudis reaching out to them. We get mass adoption by then. I know some people are like, man, you're nuts. The fudders will say I'm out of my mind, but again, they just look at, Menelik is right. They look at one chart, and the only chart they look at, like as the saying goes, when in doubt, zoom out. That's the only one they look at, excuse me. And that is how it shows a chance, from, all time is like down 99%. And anybody, I guess you could say, for the most part, will look at that and they'd be like, I don't even need to do more research. I don't want to look into it and so on. It's for one, the market maker went about diluting it the wrong way and so on. But now with the circulating supply and so on approaching 100%, I know it sounds messed up, but I'm kind of glad for where I came in, and it's the same thing with a lot of you guys, because we're able to buy this at, I guess you could say, distressed prices or undervalued prices and so on. But yeah, come on, guys. I hate to use this term again, naive to think that this doesn't apply to everything in crypto? It applies to everything in crypto. It absolutely does. Perfect example, BTC at 69K. Somebody tells somebody to get into that. Oh, the media, the mainstream media tells people to get into it. They only report on like three things. When everything is all-time highs, when there's crashes, and then like if they got like some kind of mainstream person, like, Larry Fink, BlackRock, or somebody like, or Ripple with victory or something like that, brag on, they don't really tell you about the use cases and so on. Again, that's part of doing your own research. But again, 69K Bitcoin. Mainstream media tells everybody, oh my God, when does this stop? Literally, they say that word for word. When does, what's holding us back? Does this strain ever stop? So, the FOMO money still comes in, and it drops off because, there's crashes or there's shifts and so on in the market. But I don't know. My main thing is we could apply that to BTC. You could apply it to Ethereum. You could, how about even Ripple's XRP? Was it $4.30 or where the heck it was? I can't remember what it was. It made me think of Jasmy's price. Yeah, but at least like $3 or $4, right? What about the people that bought in at the all-time high for that? They're wrecked. You could apply it to Jasmy. You could apply it to anything. We were talking about Cardano earlier. You know what I mean? Like even myself, like I didn't buy the all-time high for Cardano, but I took some bad advice from a close friend of mine when I was new to crypto. And he was just like, I'm telling you, man, you got to flat out load up on this Cardano right now. And I'm like, all right, you realize if you didn't do so well in stocks, it probably wouldn't be listened to you. Oh, come on, do it. Well, I did it. I got wrecked. You know what I mean? That's part of the journey. All right. I'm going to just read the last few comments. I'm going to get out of here in a bit. Jasmy got the hardware wall. I got to finish watching that one. Jasmy's freaking huge. Oh, you're talking about the super wallet? Yeah. That's not completed yet. My guess is by the end of the year. But there's a lot of evidence to support like this is a massive, it's not just a hardware wallet, it's a super wallet. SBI owns 20% of Ripple. They say all banks in Japan will use XRP by 2025. I'm glad that you paid attention to that. That was big. And then also, come on, guys, XDC. That 3-part video I did. QNT, Jasmy, XDC. Connection is what? SBI. And for some people say, Jasmy doesn't have an SBI connection. Bull freaking crap, they do. And you know who it is Genki Yoda, because he is a big wig in SBI and he's a big wig in BitPoint. And that BitPoint partnership with Jasmy is absolutely massive. And for people who don't know that, they need to find out more about that because that is big in itself. Genki Yoda is a decision maker. He's like, come on, man. This guy's part of 3 major companies that's tied into all this. So for one, BitPoint. Number 2, SBI. And number 3, he's part of the FSA. He is a policy director, decision maker, and so on. That is a big leg up for Jasmy. And I know I keep saying, get off here, and you guys keep talking about this stuff, and then I get addicted to talking about it because I love talking about Jasmy. I love talking about all this stuff about our future wealth. What's there not to be excited about? You know what I mean? It keeps me up at night. Last night, I even prayed. I said, dear Jesus, please, I have got to get to sleep. Please help me get some good rest. Please, God, help me turn off my mind. I even prayed that. You know what? God answered my prayers. I got one of the best night's sleeps I ever got last night. I was like so grateful when I woke up. I finally woke up like I felt rested. I was like, thank you, God. Like almost like a Chris Tucker moment. Like, when, was it Rush Hour 2 when it starts raining down all the money and Chris Tucker looks up and he's just like, thank you, God. It was kind of like that anyway, because when it comes to me, if I haven't had a great night's sleep in a long time. I finally had a great night's sleep last night. I was so glad just to be able to, get up, and I was like, oh my God, I actually feel rested for a change. So thank you, Legrand Commission or whoever else prayed for me. Thank you. Anyway, what was the Flare's relationship to XRP? Who can answer that is Mike Cornwell. I know that there was that thing dating all back to 2020. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have a chance to like really research that as well as the next guy, but I know that Mike Cornwell probably could tell you a lot about that. All right. Seeing enough people to know. I hear you. Like even Quant Papa was saying 100% scam, and I totally believe Quant Papa. I have nothing but respect for Quant Papa. I love that guy. We talk a lot, we chat a lot, and so on. DM each other like almost every day. Great guy. He tells me it's 100% scam. Like the way I look at it, okay, it probably is, right? But I also want to state this, guys, and just I know I keep keeping this show going. there's just something about when you see like even a meme token, right? Pumps for no reason at all. And that's what bugs me when it comes to Cypherium. All right. So a lot of these meme tokens are blatant scams. Now I know that Cypherium isn't a meme token, but it gets treated like a meme token. And Sky Gao, you know, how he promotes the thing, you know, he promotes it like a freaking meme token. You know, even Crypto Smith has pointed out, and I point out too. So that's my thing. It's just that what if, you know, and you guys know me, I don't go after the meme tokens. I used to back in 2021. Yeah, I was part of that mix. Don't do that anymore. So my Cypherium, as you guys would say, my Cypherium is my justification on my $250 gamble. Okay, and I do think it's a gamble. I don't think it's a proper investment. 15-minute cities are the future. Yeah, whether people are on board with that. I mean, I'm not a fan of what's going to happen in communist China, right? Red China, the People's Republic of China, the real China, you know, is the Republic of China, which is Taiwan. And if people don't believe me about that, again, I teach history. Look it up. In the history books, it's literally labeled as the Republic of China. You know? All right. Agenda 30 will set us all up to squish together and utilize the world's resources most efficiently. This is where the concept of removing vehicles for carbon emissions and coal-powered cities. Good night. All right, well, you have a great night too. All right, Elon Musk. Flare most definitely has XRP connections. I'm glad I summoned you, my friend. I still have a 37 airdrops of Flare for holding XRP. This is one that's been bothering me because, like, when I talk about my top 5, I include Caspa. If I was going to include a top 10, I think just on the surface, Flare ranks like 9th or 10th on the ones I was thinking about getting into. Because I do look at it as like, what is it like? Not even 2 cents, like a 0.017 or something like that. It's just kind of like that. What if this materializes? But anyway, you saw 37 airdrops. Been talking to Jasmy for over a year now. Bitcoin of Japan. That's good stuff. Ending shows are for Wissy. Hey! I hear you, man. I've known about, like I said, though, I've known about Jasmy for the longest time. You know what I mean? Like when I was doing my clear pool staking on KuCoin, that's when I first found out because it had really attractive staking, 50%. And Clearpool at the time was like 100%. But again, I'm glad I didn't get involved in Jasmy at that time because even though the staking was 50%, it was like, oh man, it was still pretty expensive at that time, like $2 or something or more. All right, too much impatience in the crypto space and not enough research on the invested assets. There's more to these projects than moonbagging. I would agree with that. Yeah. All right. 2 more hours. No, I can't. If anything, hold on. So let me see the time real quick. Yeah, I gotta leave in 25 minutes to give this kid a ride home. Because otherwise, I don't know. I mean, you could take the bus, but it's kind of a rough area. All right. Let's see. Can we not get excited? Where Larry's up in here? I'm so excited. Oh my god. All right. Appreciate Max. Thank you. Jasmy. Flare is greater than Songbird. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Dave D's in the house. Welcome. WrestleMania. No. 2 minutes will be officially WrestleMania. So I'm going to cut it off just before the 2 minutes. XRP, right? All right. That's it. That's the show. Thank you for joining us. Please smash that like on your way out. And thank you for supporting CTN. I'm glad to have you guys here. Arizona has rough air. Yeah, you may not think so. So we don't have like some places it's like, like South Central Los Angeles. You got like, or like, there's Compton, Inglewood, Watts, and oh God, I mean, geez, I mean, was it like out in New York? What do you got? Like Flatbush and all those areas. It's just, or Newark, New Jersey, you know, Gary, Indiana. I mean, there's a lot of hoods. St. Louis, Detroit, right? For Phoenix, it's really weird. You have random neighborhoods. There's no one set like section. Some people say it's South Phoenix, but there's no one set section of town. It's just random, really bad areas like around the city. Anyway, one of those things. Yes. God bless you too. All right. Phoenix was always on live. Huh. All right. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next one. It's 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We may possibly have Rue Black back on Thursday. Maybe. I got to get confirmation from him. If not then either the following week or the week after that. But he will be back on. So anyway. Yeah, that's right. All right. Have a good one. Boom. All right. Bye-bye. Sayonara. Rice Crop Consortium. Wait. All right. Shout